Yo, let me see something here. Yo, what's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's happening, y'all? We're here live. Going through this thing here. Of course, this is as they say, Judgment Day. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It's going down at the Casilla Center in Miami, Florida. We had a number of fights that has already taken place. Here so far, and right now we are at the co-feature bout. Okay, with Alicia Baumgartner going up against Layla Badouin. You do have three of the four major titles on the line there with this one, right? As this is 12 3-minute rounds here with Alicia Baumgartner going in there with a record of 16-1, and Layla Badouin there with a record of 13-1. With it being 12 3-minute rounds, you have the WBC that is not going to be involved with it, not going to be involved in it, any of that type of stuff. So, hey, I mean, it is what it is. The WBC, had their thoughts in reference to this, but hey, if they don't want to be a part of it, then that is really what it is on that scene. But it's about to start off. It's about to go down. They're pretty much like having introductions ready here for these particular fighters, right? So with that being said, wanted to kind of like go through a number of these things here with this rundown of what's happened already in this fight card. You had the prelims that did take place there on the YouTube channel there for Most Valuable Promotions, whatnot. You did have Keno Marley getting his unanimous decision win over Deara Davis. You had a thing there with Avius Griffin getting a first round knockout victory over Justin Cardona, being able to stop him before the end of the first round. You had Caroline Dubois win by unanimous decision against Camila Pineda. You also had Yokasa Valle, get a decision over Yadira Bastillos, and Shanika Johnson going up against Amanda Gaye, being the undisputed champion there at bantamweight, and was able to score a unanimous decision. Now, with that particular fight, going through that live, it seemed like Amanda Gaye kind of may have gotten a few more rounds than maybe the judges thought, but hey, Shanika Johnson still ended up getting the win, right? But right now, as I see what's going on right now, you got Layla Badouin there walking to the ring. Almost looks like she's kind of tense a little bit walking to the ring. I mean, you're going up against the top rated fighter within the division there in Alicia Baumgartner in the super featherweight division. This is like your opportunity to become the top fighter there at 130 pounds. So I don't know, maybe she has something there once this fight starts. But Alicia Baumgartner, of course, has had her bouts against Michaela Mayer, Delphine Persoon, that ended up being a no contest, and her last fight at the Madison Square Garden against Jennifer Miranda, where she got a unanimous decision. Now, I know a few people that felt like Miranda actually performed better in that bout against Alicia Baumgartner, and some said that hey, she should have got the win. You know what I mean? But ended up being the decision in favor of Alicia Baumgartner on that front. And so now we see that Alicia is about to, be on her way to the ring right now. She's going through that ring walk over there at the Casilla Center. So this is going to be a good little bit, man, because, what have we had here with Alicia Baumgartner, right? She's had a number of these fights that she's went through 10-round bouts. She hasn't had a stoppage since her win over Terry Harper, which was, one of those fights that kind of had a number of people pay attention to her, right? Before she had her bout against Michaela Mayer in 2022. So listen, with this being 12 3-minute rounds, if we go through 36, man, like this would be something. You know what I mean? Also, too, right? Like, you got this whole thing with Netflix, right? When did they have this whole thing with the commercials? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have commercials going on, in between these bouts and that type of stuff. They don't necessarily do the whole thing with like I guess, features or whatnot. So that's the thing about it. You know what I mean? I don't know, how that's supposed to, work out or that type of thing. So, maybe they need that, for like advertising and that type of stuff. But right now you got Alicia Baumgartner, getting herself on the way to the ring. Of course, you have Derek James as her trainer, now. So we wanted to see like how that mesh would be. I mean, we've seen it in the last fight, right, over at Madison Square Garden, and like I said, I mean, I don't know if she looked, too polished in that fight against Jennifer Miranda, and as a result, it ended up being closer than the scorecards indicated. So, I mean, we want to see like how this goes, because you got the thing here with Alicia Baumgartner, and she is like one of those signees or recent signees and that type of thing on that. You're not sure what's going on, Jaden. We here, on the live, just doing a watch long here for this Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. You do have the co-feature bout that's going down here in a few moments. You still have Alicia Baumgartner still trying to make her way to the ring and that type of stuff. But big thanks for everyone that's able to be on here live here and everything like that. Hit the like button if you're able to hit the like button. We appreciate the support here at the Boxing Source. So like I said, the thing here with Alicia Baumgartner, like what in the world is that? A violinist? Like what? I mean, you got salute, man. Salute to you, man. So the thing about it is that we got the whole thing going down here with this co-feature bout, and damn, they got what's that ring card girl name? Lexi. Hey, they got her. They've been featuring Lexi in this thing, man. Hey, listen. Hey, some of y'all know if y'all been following for a good little bit. If y'all check out the website, theboxingsource.net, right? We have a little page on there for Ring Card City, right? Of course, we feature the fighters and the fights and everything that goes down with that. But you don't necessarily see a website, dedicated to boxing that features ring card girls, right? So, as a photographer and all that type of stuff, you feature ring card girls. Listen, if I was out there in Miami, hey, I'll be taking. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be taking the pictures, man. I'll be taking those pictures, okay? Because hey, they got a couple of them. Yeah. Hey, shout out to MVP. Shout out to MVP for them ring card girls, man. You know what I'm saying? But like they got their whole thing with the introductions and all that type of stuff there with ring announcer and all that type and things like that. So it's gonna be a good little minute. And I want to see what Alicia Baumgartner does here. Is she gonna go out with guns blazing and all that type of stuff here for this bout that she has against Layla Badoun, right? Like Badoun, knows that this is her big shot here in the super featherweight division. Of course, based in Canada, there with the majority of her professional bouts in Canada. Her long loss, though, was over in Mexico in 2023. But she has been, having a number of bouts over in either Montreal or Quebec City. There with the last bout that was in June against Elham McCallum, right? Yeah. Try to get through that particular fight, but she ended up winning that bout by a technical knockout, right? So she's there, like I said, at 13-1, and has what is that? That was her second knockout. Yeah, two knockouts and everything. But he said, I don't really like boxing. I like football. Hey, man. Hey, you got the thing going down right now. Actually, the college football playoff, Oklahoma versus Alabama, right? And Oklahoma was out to a 17-0 lead. And then before the end of the half, Alabama then came back and scored 17 points. So looked like, halftime, it was 17-17. You know what I mean? What was the dude, man? That quarterback for Oklahoma threw an interception. I saw it, right? He threw the interception. It was right to that dude. Dude was like, he was like looking. He was looking right in the eyes of it was John Mateer, right? Mateer thought his receiver was going, cut off the route and then turn around. But he didn't do that. He just kept going. And, that DB just saw that and said, oh, gift, interception, ran it in for a touchdown. So you got first round of the playoffs, Oklahoma versus Alabama in the rematch. Remember, Alabama lost to Oklahoma in their homecoming this season. So I guess it's going to be a very interesting second half on that front. But yeah, they still going through the whole thing here with the introductions, man. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like this type of thing that we talking about, right? Think about it. Oh, you said like Texas. All right, yeah. I mean, they're able to get that win over Texas A&M, that hand Texas A&M their first loss of the season. But that wasn't enough for them to get in the college football playoff there. So, that's a tough break. But they ended up losing when they lost that team out of Gainesville on the road. I was like, man, that pretty much like did them in right there. You know what I mean? But yeah, all right. Now you got the whole thing with the instructions with the referee. So the first round with Alicia Baumgartner and Layla Bedoin is about to start. Oh yeah, Bijan Robinson. Yeah, he did, man. He's there as one of the top guys out there now playing for the Atlanta Falcons. So I mean, he's doing his thing. Falcons are out of the playoff hunt, but they are still able to do their thing against the Buccaneers the other week. So we'll see. Shout out to my guy BVO Sports in the building. What's happening? All right, we in here with the first round. All right, you see, Bedoin there with a couple of jabs there, real quick. One jab to the body, going to the body very early there against Alicia Baumgartner. So she's being pretty active there. You got Baumgartner, throwing out the jab, but a double jab there from Layla Bedoin. All right. So let's see here. They're trying to, try to see what the range is here, to see where they're going to be most successful in. So you're seeing a couple of feints there from Bedoin. Alicia Baumgartner trying to, do foot feints herself there, throwing a jab, throwing another jab there on that front. So, kind of like seeing what's going on between the two. A lot of jabs, mixing it up. We got Bedoin, just keeping the jab active here so far. So you see that Bedoin is like a little bit more active right now with Alicia Baumgartner when it comes to throwing a jab. All right, so she's doing the double jabs. She's been doing double jabs there and things like that. Salute to you, Jaden, for subscribing to the Boxer Source. All right, so we got, I guess a number of jabs here. Haven't really seen like either one throw the right hand as of yet, So we got that's going on right now. Let's see here. So we got Alicia. Looks like she's a taller fighter. All right, we got a couple of hooks there from Alicia Baumgartner while Bedoin tried to get within close range. All right, so we still see a couple of foot feints from Bedoin throwing a jab. She tried to throw a counter right hand, after the jab from Alicia Baumgartner. All right, so still seeing Baumgartner with the jab. She's still like sticking out the jab there with that. So shout out to Baumgartner for doing that. All right, double jab and then the right hand from Bedoin trying to get to the body. All right, so there you go. All right, what we got about like a minute, over a minute left here in the first round. There, like I said, it's 3 minute about 3 minute rounds here and 12 rounds. So we're gonna see how this is gonna work. All right. So we still got Alicia Baumgartner there throwing the jabs and Layla Bedoin throwing jabs to the body. All right. So I'm seeing a lot of foot feints in this. All right, right hand there from Alicia Baumgartner. She tried to do a 1-2, tried to see if she could land that right hand on Layla Bedoin. All right, so here we go. We got about 40 seconds left, it looks like, and you got Alicia Baumgartner still throwing the jab. See if she could like land that jab there, but we seeing a couple of foot feints there from Layla Bedoin that I've seen over the course of this first round. All right, so there we go. All right, so we got. Here's it. All right, 1-2 there from Layla Bedoin going to the body. She seems to try to aim for the body here early in this particular bout. All right, try to throw a counter left hook after Baumgartner was throwing the jab. Right hand by Baumgartner, try to get to the body. Another jab there and things like that. So that's what we got going on. Okay, a 1-2-1 from Bedoin. Didn't land here, and that is the end of the first round. All right. So you pretty much like had a number of jabs and attempted to try to get within range from both Alicia Baumgartner and Layla Bedoin. For Bedoin, she was doing a number of foot feints there within that first part of the first round. There, I guess, trying to throw off the timing of Alicia Baumgartner. So we got to see how that goes. All right, now they're showing there, of course, since it's a co-feature bout, the only thing left is the main event. You got Jake Paul there, getting himself ready and things like that. So they're getting themselves set up. Hopefully, regardless of what happens here with this co-feature bout, that this bout starts, this main event starts by 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. Let's see if they're gonna Let's see if they do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if they do that. Now remember, this main card started at 8 o'clock. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern time, so it's like 2 hours in already. It's gonna, moving pretty good there. So this is like the third fight in the main card. All right, here we go with round two. Right, they meet in the center of the ring. You got Alicia Baumgartner throwing the jab. They're trying to, get do parries and jousting there with their lead hand, with the lead left hand. So let's see, he was able to connect with the jab. Oh, lead right hand by Alicia Baumgartner. So he's trying to, get in with the power shots there with the right hand. All right, throwing the jab, both throwing the jabs, and you see in there a number of, kind of like, movements there from Leyla Badouin. All right, so we go with another jab there. Jab, right hand. Like I said, trying to get to the body there. Leyla Badouin trying to get to the body of Alicia Baumgartner. All right, lead right hand there from Alicia Baumgartner. So she's throwing the lead right here in this second round, and she's kind of successful with it, but she's looking like she's trying to, connect with a big power shot with that. Badouin was a little bit wide with the 1-2 and things like that. It says, what's your favorite NFL player? He's saying like right now, right now, man, I would say Lamar Jackson. I would say Lamar Jackson right now. That would be my favorite player. Let's see here. So here we go. We got Alicia Baumgartner looking like she's a little bit more comfortable seeing what Badouin is. Kind of like strategizing in the ring. I was going to say what Badouin is doing. That would have been something. All right. Oh, see another lead right hand there from Alicia Baumgartner. So it looks like, they all right, a 1-1-2 from Alicia Baumgartner. She was able to connect with the 1-2 there with the right hand. So a lot more successful here with the right hand from Alicia Baumgartner. Did she? Ooh, I wonder if she got connected that right hand right there before the guard came up from Badouin. So she's getting a lot more successful landing the right hand here so far in the second round. We're going into about a minute left here in the second round between Alicia Baumgartner and Leyla Badouin. And yeah, it looks like, Baumgartner is a little bit taller, but looks shade bigger there. So I don't know what she rehydrated to on that front. It says CJ Stroud. Of course, CJ Stroud coming from Ohio State. He was able to do some things there with the Houston Texans here so far. They're making a late push to see if they can get back in the playoff hunt there. And shout out to their defense. They got one of the best defenses in the NFL. Oh, they tried to trade right hands right there. All right, so yeah, that was like a risk from both of them. Badouin still, going to the body there, with the 1-2, but you see there with Alicia Baumgartner, she's continued to, try to land with that right hand. All right. So there you go with that front. All right, going to the end of this round, end of the second round. Like I said, you had Baumgartner a lot, very successful with the right hand, particularly throwing the lead right hand. So she's just coming up and just throwing that lead right and continue to throw the lead right, and was very successful with that. Oh my God, you got Michael Irvin there in the building, Brandon Marshall, Kay Adams, Rick Kershaw. Oh man, I don't know what's up with Michael Irvin, boy. He's a firecracker there, no matter what sporting event he is at. You know what I mean? But that's what you got there. These first couple of rounds. Oh yeah, you gotta have Michael Irvin there and Brandon Marshall. It's like going on. But yeah, so that's what we got so far. We're going into round 3 here in this co-feature bout for 3 of the 4 major titles there in the super featherweight division in women's boxing there with Alicia Baumgartner. So now we're gonna see like how she approaches this third round, because she was very successful with that lead right hand in the second round against Badouin. Let's see. All right, here we go with the start of the third round. They meet, close to the center of the ring, doing a lot of feints, both of them. You got the jab from Badouin, tried to land with the jab. 3 or 4 jabs there from Alicia Baumgartner, and then try to follow up with the right. Oh, see, they try to do a thing there with the right hand again. And hey, like Baumgartner is really successful there with the right hand. So I think that's one that's getting Badouin in trouble. So we're gonna see if Alicia Baumgartner is going to try to set up that right hand. And I see their MVP co-owner there, Nikita Badarian, like right there ringside. You can kind of see him right there. You know what I mean? So yeah, there we go on that front, man. I don't know, man. If y'all are like watching too, and if y'all want to join in on the discussion, let me know, and I might post a link the StreamYard link, so you'll be able to join in here. Have a little, like I said, you're having a watch party going down here for this Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. All right. So now you got Alicia Baumgartner with a double jab, but doing answers with a jab of her own. Didn't necessarily land. I think a number of these jabs here from Baduin ain't really getting there within range. So we got to see if she has to do something different to kind of like land in with the jab. But you kind of see there with Alicia Baumgartner like leading in. But with Baduin, she's throwing the punches, but she's not within range to land on Alicia Baumgartner. All right. She was able to get a couple of punches landed in there close. But I'm seeing here that you see that Baumgartner is sharper there on that front. So you see that, all right, first kind of clinch there between those two here in this one. It said favorite player is Jaden Daniels. I mean, yeah, man, Heisman Trophy winner, there with the Washington Commanders. But, the thing with the Commanders, man, Commanders and them quarterbacks, boy. We seen what happened with a couple of them beforehand, and Jaden Daniels is almost, going through that same thing. You know what I mean? So we got to see how they approach him, going into the next season, since they kind of, put him on the shelf for the rest of this season. You know what I mean? All right. So we got, Baumgartner kind of stepping back a little bit to get out of range. Another one of those lead right hands there from Alicia Baumgartner. Like I said, she's really getting more successful throwing that right hand up top. And she's throwing the combinations there, kind of seeing if she could wear down Baduin here. I haven't really seen Baumgartner go to the body that much. Not necessarily like, how Baduin has been in this particular fight so far. But you kind of like see that she's, really leaning towards landing that right hand. You know what I mean? Like I said, with the thing with Jaden Daniels, being on the Commanders, they had, a lot of success there within his first season. They're being able to get in the NFC Championship game and that type of stuff, right? But, this season, they didn't really have the defense and, and trying to, call plays where he's doing a lot on offense like that ain't necessarily going to work. They're going to have to work on a better balance there for him. You know what I mean? So let's see what goes on with that. All right, yeah. So we going in here round 4. I don't know, man. It looks like, you're seeing Alicia Baumgartner be a lot more patient here in this, and I say that she's more polished than she was in her last fight that she had at Madison Square Garden. So that's what I'm seeing here so far. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, round 4. Let's do it. A lot of parrying right here. All right, now she goes to the body. Baumgartner with a jab to the body. Jab there from Baduin out of range. All right, another jab there from Alicia Baumgartner. Tries to catch it with the left hook, lead left hook, double left hook, and landing with the right hand. So now she's kind of being more fluent with the number of her punches. Counter left and right from Alicia Baumgartner. Double jab from Baduin. Jab from Alicia Baumgartner. Another one from Baumgartner. All right, here we go. This is a little bit of action here that's going on. Double 1-2 from Baumgartner there. She looks like she's very comfortable, there as far as like when she gets her offense going. Goes to the body with the jab there from Alicia Baumgartner. I want to see if she could like actually turn and land some hooks. You feel me? So there we go. All right. A little bit of a scrap between those two in close quarters. Nothing really landing significant. Clinch. Baduin tries to throw punches while in the clinch. All right, gets broken up. All right, resuming. All right, here we are, like, with round 4, 140 left in round 4. You got, Baumgartner there. All right, she is, looking to see what is happening there with Baduin. Threw like a left hook while Baduin wasn't within range. Like, Baduin is not necessarily doing what she was successful with in those first couple of rounds, and that's going to the body. Looks like she's trying to scrap in close quarters, and she just got pushed down to the canvas. Okay, so that's what happened. It's like, yeah, he threw it to the canvas. Like, come on there, Alicia, what are you doing? All right, here we go. They back at it. All right, there's about 1 minute left here in the fourth round. Two jabs there from Alicia Baumgartner, didn't really land on nothing. Throws a hook, left hook, right hook combination. Threw a left hook here to try to catch Baduin before Baduin could throw punches. Didn't really land that significant. All right, so here we go. All right, another jab there from Alicia Baumgartner. Number of feints. Looks like Baduin is kind of slowing down when it comes to the punches and things like that. Another clinch. All right, 30 seconds left in the fourth round. Jab from Alicia Baumgartner. Another jab. Gets away from a jab of Baduin and throws three jabs. The last one to the body. Another jab to the body. All right, so she's trying to do feints and all that type of stuff here before the end of the fourth round. She's landing it or throwing a jab there. All right. Ooh, well, good. A little bit of a good combination there from Baduin. Try to land a right hand over the top on Alicia Baumgartner, but was out of range. And she throws a jab out of range. Two jabs from Alicia Baumgartner. Didn't really touch them, so all that type of stuff, it didn't necessarily get there. But you kind of see there with Alicia Baumgartner, she's a lot more patient here in this particular bout. Like I said, in comparison to her bout against Jennifer Miranda, where it seemed like, she was landing shots, but she was kind of a little bit over the place and a little bit inconsistent there in that point. But here within these first four rounds against Layla Baduin, she's a lot more patient there. And I think that, she's done, a lot more work here with Derek James in camp to get prepared for this particular fight coming up. All right. So, here with that being said, we got a number of things that's coming up. I mean, you do have this fight, of course, there at the super featherweight division, and we got to see what will be next if Alicia Baumgartner is going to be successful here, but that remains to be seen. I want to see what happens here with this first, because there could be a potential matchup later on down the line there within the either 130 or 135 pound division there within Most Valuable Promotions, but we'll see. Dealing with the recent signing. All right, here we are. Round 5 starting up. Jabs there from Alicia Baumgartner. One from Baduin trying to get to the body there. Wasn't successful with that. Okay. Say the unofficial scorecard has it 3-1 in favor of Alicia Baumgartner, giving the first round to Layla Baduin. All right. Combination there from Alicia Baumgartner while Baduin was up close. All right. She landed a little bit of a right hand there on Alicia Baumgartner, but she looked like she got countered there with an uppercut. So, all right. Trying to throw punches into the body while in a clinch. They get broken up. The referee says something. All right. Jab there and a combination there attempted from Alicia Baumgartner. 1-1-2 from Alicia Baumgartner. Looks like a jab from Baduin there. All right. Here we go. Looks like more action here coming up with this type of thing. All right. Another 2 lead right hands from Alicia Baumgartner. Another clinch. Bringing it up. Said, no way Jake Paul winning this. No way Jake Paul's winning. Hey, listen, I have it like, Anthony Joshua round 3. They do have the odds there over under at 2.5 rounds. Last week they had those odds even at minus 115 for over under 2.5. Now it's kind of like leaning towards people are going for the under on that. Let me see here. All right, so we got the Baumgartner throwing left hooks and turn around with the jab. All right, it looks like they're trying to mix it in here within good quarters here or whatnot. So let me see how this goes. Right hand attempted there from Layla Baduin. Another clinch there. They're trying to land punches while in the clinch. I mean, shout out to Greg Anderson here, tuning in live here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already here. We got a lot of content here with the Boxing Source. I got an interview to post up there with Coach Barry Hunter, because I was over there by the gym there with Coach Barry Hunter, and had a conversation with Coach Barry Hunter. So I'm gonna post that up here later on down the line, so y'all be able to check it out after this live commentary. More close fights, while in the clinch and throwing body shots and that type of thing there from both Baumgartner and Badouin. All right. We got about 20 seconds left here in this fifth round. The thing is, I kind of like seeing if this fight was going to go to full 12. That was going to be something. But let's see here. All right. You got Baumgartner there with a high guard and then trying to go in with the double jab, but we got a number of clinches. It's been a good amount of clinches here in this particular round. So that's going to be something. End of the round. It's going to be really something here because here we are. We're going into round 6. Now, again, this is 12 3-minute rounds, okay? We've already went through, what is that, 15 minutes of ring time? Now, if it was like, regular women's rules, 10 rounds, 2-minute rounds, this fight would have pretty much been at like round 8, round 8 of 10 already. But now we just going into round 6, okay? So we gotta see like how this is going. Is that like a welt? Yep, there's a welt under the eye of Layla Badouin there. That should be a left eye. So trying to see if they could, get that swelling down there from Layla Badouin. But I want to see how this 6th round goes because there was a lot of clinching there in round 5. So let's see if the energy level is gonna be down here in this round 5. All right, it's just starting here, round 5. Round 6, excuse me. All right. Here we go. We got, jabs, throwing out jabs, kind of try to get within range, throwing those jabs. Kind of like a quadruple jab there from Alicia Baumgartner and then another 2 jabs. But, none of them really landing there on that front. All right, so here we go. Try to 1-2 attempted there from Badouin. Missed there. What is that? Tried to land the right hand, Badouin did. And, Baumgartner trying to, land a counter left hook. Another clinch. All right. So here we go. Let's do it. All right. Jab there attempted from Baumgartner. Like I said, they're just throwing jabs. Nothing really landed, but you just still, throwing it out there just as almost like sometimes a defense mechanism. Sometimes you kind of like have it to the point where you throw the jab. You don't necessarily, have it to the point where either it's within range or it's landing, but you kind of like say, okay, if they're going to think about coming in, this is what I got for them. Boom. This is what I got for them. Boom. Don't necessarily have to land, but you just throw it. You know what I mean? All right. Number of feints here. He had a punch thrown, attempted there from Lisa Baumgartner, throwing a lead right. Badouin trying to counter that. Not successful. Another lead right. Then the left there from Baumgartner. All right, another scrap, and then back to the clinch. Like I was saying, man, you have to see how the whole thing going with the clinch here from this point forward. Like I said, we ain't even halfway through the fight yet. Okay. All right, here it is. Another lead right hand attempted there from Alicia Baumgartner. They said something was questionable. All right, she's getting more aggressive there with the right hand. Like I said, when she was starting to throw that lead right hand in the 2nd round, she was very successful with that. So I wanted to see if she was going to be able to follow up with that. There it is, another clinch. So here we go. We gonna see like all right, more right hands there from Alicia Baumgartner. She did throw an uppercut with the right. Oh, good left hand from Layla Badouin right there. Another right hand from Alicia Baumgartner, throwing another one of those lead right hands. All right. So another jab there from Baumgartner. Throwing those jabs. Both of them throw a jab, but Baumgartner landed with the jab. All right, here it is. All right, double jab attempted there. We got 20 seconds left. Another one of those lead right hands from Lisa Baumgartner. So there you go. All right, she's like following around the ring. Another clinch. We're gonna see, like I said, oh man, he just landed a right hand there, Badouin did before the end of the 6th round. And there you go. So that's the thing, man. I'm trying to see like how this is going to get itself developing here within these. This is now, as they say, the 2nd half of this fight. As I said, this is 12 rounds, 3 minutes per round. Right? You just went through 6 rounds. That's like what? 18 minutes total. So if it was like regular fight there with 2-minute rounds, 10 rounds, yeah. All right, you got Anthony Joshua there, getting himself warmed up, uh, kind of getting himself a spring in his step. So here we go. It's getting closer to Judgment Day. Closer to Judgment Day. You know what I mean, so let's see here. Like I said, we're going into round 7 here. This is the co-feature bout. Okay, and remember, Alicia Baumgartner is one of the featured fighters there for Most Valuable Promotions. One of their, as they say, their biggest signings. All right, here we go, round 7. All right, another one of these things with them jousting with the hands, jousting with the hands. No, neither one of them within range. You have Alicia Baumgartner, you go just throwing those jabs, trying to go to the body with the jab. Okay. Let's see here. Another one jab to the body. All right, she was able to land there with the body. Combination attempted there from Baduin. Let's see here. Another jab to the body. Lead right hand, connected with the right hand. I think those right hands are kind of like doing damage there to Layla Baduin, as I mentioned there, with the welt on the left eye or under the left eye of Baduin there, in between rounds. So now it's like, okay, now we're gonna see Baumgartner kind of like mix up the offense there. She's kind of aiming towards the jab to the body. Let's see how that goes on that front. All right. We had 2 minutes left here within this 7th round. Okay, there it is. There, tried to 1-2 there. Baumgartner was a little bit successful, to not really landing completely with that right hand. All right. So there you go. All right. So what else we got here on slate or whatnot? Let's see. You got the Baduin trying to do some things there with the combinations, but not really landing clean. Baumgartner slipping there when Baduin tried to throw the right, and she landed a right of her own. Again, that right hand of Baumgartner is pretty much the key to this fight so far. She's really winning with that. You do have the left hand of Baduin kind of being a little bit too low there. So let's see how that is going to fare itself, especially with Baumgartner throwing that right hand, especially lead right. And she just threw a counter right hand after Baduin tried to throw. All right, Baduin with the right hand, she tried to throw it right to the body, but was out of range, and Baumgartner stepped away. All right, another lead right hand from Baumgartner. So you see that she's kind of focusing on that lead right hand right there. All right, so here it is. Another, 1-2 there from Baumgartner, and then back to the jab. Close quarters, they try to throw punches. Neither of them really landed like that. All right, 1-1-2 from Baduin, out of range. Baumgartner, another attempt of that lead right hand, and then they try to throw punches while in the clinch, breaking it up. All right, here it is. About 12 seconds left there in the 7th round. Man, you know what? I'm seeing this is looking like it's going to go to full 12, so we're going to see how that goes on that front. Another lead right hand attempted there from Alicia Baumgartner, and she goes down. Baduin goes down to the lead right hand. She has been getting hit with those a lot of times over the course of this bout. She is knocked down. She's looking pretty tired. She's walking to the referee. She says she's okay. It is the end of the 7th round with Alicia Baumgartner scoring that knockdown there. Like I said, 2 lead right hands from Alicia Baumgartner puts Baduin to the canvas. So now we're going to see what's going to happen here, because like I said, you did have a number of these clinches happening within the 6th and 7th round. You did have the, I would say, the energy level of Layla Baduin kind of like drop a little bit after round 5. So here it is, like you're going to have before the end of the round, another, there it is, like right hand while Baduin was coming in. And remember, I mentioned that thing there with the left hand kind of low there for Layla Baduin, and you can't do that when you have someone landing these lead right hands, and she just ended up getting hit with the lead right hand while trying to go forward, and she ended up going down. So we're going to have to see what the energy level is of Layla Baduin going into this particular round. I wanted to see something there with the odds there, kind of like going to the odds there with with DraftKings or whatever it is. I wanted to do that for the main event here before we get this thing going down. But we got this start here. What are they doing? Oh, all right. So are y'all gonna start the round or not? Let's see here. All right. Now we got Anthony Joshua at minus 1,600 on the money line in through DraftKings. All right, let's see here what Alicia Baumgardner does here after scoring that knockdown before the end of the last round. She throws two jabs there. She's trying to close the distance here. What do we got? Over under 2.5 is plus 110, and over 2.5 is minus 150 there for the main event. Real quick there on the DraftKings. Yeah, it was clean. Yeah. All right. Punch to the body there from Baumgardner. Another one punch to the body from Baumgardner. I think she's trying to have her faked out because she might do a feint to the body and then come over the top. So we're gonna see. All right, here it is. We're getting towards 2 minutes left here in the 8th round. All right, so here it is. All right, we got we're doing double jabbing in the right, but didn't really land anything there on that front. Left hook counter attempted from Baumgardner. Goes to the body with the right and then upstairs. Lands up top with the jab. She almost got caught with the right hand, but she was like ducking in while she was trying to punch herself. Okay. All right, here it is. Let's see what we got here. Jabs attempted there from Baumgardner. Right left hook combo there from Baduin. Kind of like missed right there. All right, let's see here if the activity level picks up there from Baumgardner. She throws a combination there. Baduin stumbles a little bit. Didn't really land the punch, but we're doing something. Good punch to the body there from Baumgardner, and then upstairs. Tried to do something in an exchange there. Baumgardner got the better of that. All right. She's throwing the jab. She's just staying patient. Just throwing the jab, throwing combinations, that type of thing there with that one. Left hook from Baduin there, but was able to get within close quarters and a clinch. Broken up. All right, here it is. What we got? Yeah, about 45 seconds left in this round. Jabs from Baumgardner. All right, she's trying to move around a little bit and see how that goes. All right, double jab attempted. Another jab attempted there from Baumgardner. Two jabs from Baumgardner. All right. So what do we have here? We got 20 seconds left here in the 8th round. She tries to a left hook, got blocked. Jab attempted. So you kind of like see there that Baumgardner is a lot more patient, just sticking things out. All right, a little bit of a combination there from Layla Baduin. All right, but it's going to be the end of the round. Okay, I don't know what that was all about. There, kind of got dabs from the trainer there, Baduin, but like I said, you haven't seen like anything very successful there from Layla Baduin here so far. I did talk about the thing there with the money line for the main event, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Like it was at one point, I would say on Tuesday, it was like minus 900 in favor of Anthony Joshua, I think it was. And now it's at minus 1,600. So it went from like 9-1 to 16-1. Right now, Jake Paul is at plus 1,000 on DraftKings for the money line. Outcome is a Joshua by KO at minus 400. Jake Paul by KO at plus 1,800. Yo, those odds are getting crazy right there. All right, where we at? All right, here we are. Start of the next round here, round 9. Here we are, round 9. All right, here it is. Yeah, the jab there opening from Baduin. Like I said, trying to get within range doing that. Attempt of a jab to the body from Baumgardner. See there, she's throwing the jabs, and then throw a right hand. Like again, I'm looking for like either a fake and then throwing the right, set up the trap and that type of thing. So we're gonna see how that goes on that front. All right, jab. All right, looks like more jousting. Left hook there from Baumgardner while Baduin tried to get within range. That landed. All right. So you kind of like seeing a good, I would say good work from Baumgartner there here so far. You know what I mean? Scoring that knockdown, before the end of that round there, round 7, and kind of like staying patient here on this front. All right. Was able to land there, and she's kind of moving the legs and kind of hopping up and down here. Like I said, this is like round 9, so you've already went through like 24 minutes of ring time, so to speak. Oh, she almost landed a right hand over the top there of Baduin that could have really done some damage. You see Baduin, still, trying and things like that, but nothing really serious landed on Alicia Baumgartner. So it's not like, she's in, much trouble here. But it's more about if Baumgartner is going to either pick up the pace with activity, or if she's going to like set a trap in order to, catch Leila Baduin with a big shot. So we're going to see how that goes here. All right, she throws a hook and then a left hook, right hook combo. Jab and then turned over with the left hook. Went to the body, attempted to the body, but got caught up in the clinch. So let's see here. The right hand landed there from Baduin, but didn't really do much damage. But hey, you still seeing the quickness there from Alicia Baumgartner. So I think that's going to be really troubling here, especially since it's like the 9th round. Here for Leila Baduin. So we're going to see. Back to the jab there from Alicia Baumgartner. Another one. 1-2 from Baumgartner. So you kind of like see there that she's still very comfortable, still bouncing on her toes here in round 9 and throwing those jabs. You know what I mean? So she's still, kind of like pacing herself here over the course of these rounds, even though it's like, 3 minutes around. So you kind of like see that from there. All right. So more jabs there from Alicia Baumgartner. Another attempt of the lead right hand there from Baumgartner. 1-2. Baduin tried to counter with the right, and that's the end of the 9th. So it looks like we're trying to get closer and closer here to the main event. Now I did say like 10:45 for the start of the main event. That definitely ain't happening. Is this fight here is going to full 12 rounds, man. It's going to full 12 rounds. All right. Shout out to everyone that's listening live, tuning in live here on the Boxing Source. Lance Meyer in the building. What's going on with you, brother Lance here? Yeah, I'm chopping up here for this whole thing with the card with well, not the whole card, but Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua just leading into this main event here. I wasn't gonna be on for like the full time starting up at like 8 p.m. I would have been on for almost like 2.5 hours. I'm not one to kind of like do those like 4 or 5 hour shows. I just can't do it. I can't do it. But now just doing live commentary here for this co-feature bout, Alicia Baumgartner versus Leila Baduin. You got 3 of the 4 major titles there within that super featherweight division, of course, with the WBC not approving this fight to have the WBC belt put on the line. Because, yes, Alicia Baumgartner is or was the undisputed champion. All right, so now you got Baumgartner, there with the back to the ropes. She's pretty much like swept every round since or outside of the first round to the unofficial scorecard. You from Ireland, checking in from Ireland, man. Hey, salute to you. That's the other thing too, man, is I wanted to see like how this fight here with Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua would be like viewed from a world scale. You had, of course, the event last year with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Now you're going to have this event with Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, with Joshua being the biggest, fighter or biggest star there from the UK, right? So I wanted to see like how that was going to be, received there within the UK and, Europe and that type of stuff. So we're going to see. All right, you got Baduin trying a little bit more here, trying to, throw the thing there with the 1-2, but she's kind of like leaning forward with it. So it's not getting enough, power, behind it. So as long as Alicia Baumgartner is staying patient, staying, upright, she's able to, pick off Baduin there on that front. Going back to the jab there, Baumgartner. Another one of those jabs there. So you kind of like see she's like moving around, throwing a jab, moving around, throwing a jab, moving around, throwing a jab. Lead right hand, then response right hand counter attempted there from Badouin. But more with the jabs here. Like I said, we're in round 10. We're going into a minute left in round 10. Left hook attempted there from Alicia Baumgartner. She tried to go to the body there, but ended up in the clinch. Excuse me. Referee breaks it up. And talking to him. All right. Try to mix it up there within close quarters. But, still, more from, good 1-2 there from Alicia Baumgartner. And being able to land a jab, land a little bit with the right hand that had, Badouin stumbling a little bit. You got, you got the part owner or co-owner there, Nikisa Badarian there on ringside, making comments and that type of stuff here too. Where you said, shout out never fold, man. He said the worst main event ever. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens here. But I don't know. You said the thing there with co-feature. Hey, some people said the whole thing with this co-feature was going to be like, But remember, as we go to the end of the 10th, remember when they had the originally scheduled bout between Jake Paul and Tank Davis, this would have been a co-feature still, but at least you would have had Gary Antoine Russell versus Andy Hirioka, right? But now with the whole thing being rescheduled and they having Anthony Joshua there, then you got the whole joint here with with the thing. So now that you're gonna have to get that thing sorted out. Hey, yeah, we ain't doing no fake ads and all that type of stuff around here. We ain't doing that. You feel me? But yeah, I mean, I at least I thought I would have. Yeah, I'm gonna be out there, man. Like I said, man. I'm gonna pull off a double header. All right, because we got a big thing, at least in Pro Box, Pro Box Maryland Live on January 30th. I'm gonna be there. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna be in New York until I catch that whole joint with the Pro Box. You know what I mean? So that's a joint. All right, where we at? Round 11, and we got a few more minutes until we see the main event take place. All right. So we got this whole thing here. 1-2 attempted there from Alicia Baumgartner. She's like trying to go in with a high guard and then try to throw from that. She got hit with a right hand though. Landed with a left hook. Like they scrapping a little bit, but stepping up with the activity. Let's see how it goes because, like I said, you've had Baumgartner be a lot sharper here over the course of these rounds. She threw a 3-punch combination there. That's kind of like breaking down Badouin a little bit. You kind of see a lot of arm punches there, right? And he says, busy. Yep. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I won't be able to make that weigh in for Shakur versus Tio because I'm gonna be, like I said, there for Pro Box, man. He said there with Lisa Baumgartner. Oh, she landed 1-2 right there. Why is she ducking Caroline? Well, we're gonna see because they're both in different divisions right now. You got Caroline Dubois there at around 135 and Alicia Baumgartner there at 130 right now. But with Caroline Dubois being a recent signee of Rose Valuable Promotions, her having a bout here on this particular card, just like that, looks like they're trying to set the stage for this fight. But we'll see because we don't know if Alicia Baumgartner is going to, continue to fight at 130 pounds or if she will end up having a bout there with Caroline Dubois at 135. And the thing there with Caroline Dubois, she does have that WBC lightweight title right now. So we'll see. All right, you got Alicia Baumgartner trying to dig to the body, but she got hit with a clean right hand though. And another clean right hand though in close quarters. So let's see how this goes. You got about 47 seconds left here in this 11th round. And now, you got, what Badouin trying to get to the body, and she's landing a few right hands this round. See, this is kind of the thing there that you kind of wanted to see what was going on with Alicia Baumgartner. Let's see how she kind of like finishes off these last few minutes of this fight. You got 20 seconds left here in the 11th round, and then we got to see what happens here because she's getting hit with these right hands from Layla Badouin. But all right, she's back to the jab, trying to box back a little bit, try to get the range out there and stuff like that. So, that's the only, that is probably the most successful that you've seen Layla Badouin be all through the whole fight. Was that particular part right there? But outside of that, he hadn't really, seen much of nothing. Shout out to everyone that's listening live here. I don't know if this thing kind of changed a little bit or whatever, but yeah, I ain't seeing no late money on the thing there for either Anthony Joshua or Jake Paul. Like I said, it's at 16-1 in favor of Anthony Joshua right now. Plus 33-11 on a parlay with Jake Paul winning. You got like on what is this, FanDuel, they got Anthony Joshua at 11-1 favorite and Jake Paul at 10-1 underdog. In regard in the last part of this fight, 12th and final round, but like I said, I kind of like seeing this be going to full 12. Real quick, what do we got here? Oh my goodness, man. Alabama has scored, they say 24 unanswered points. So they scored 10 points in the third quarter. Therefore, for that particular game, they're in the college football playoff. Here we are, last round. Jabs. You still have Alicia be sharp with the jabs, but yay, they said that Badouin on the unofficial scorecard won round 11, which, hey, if you landing those right hands and being able to do what you do at close quarters, and hey, maybe you could get that there. All right, here we are with this whole thing. All right, it's like a lot of feints right now, pretty much like how the first round was, a lot of feints. Haven't really seen that many punches there outside of like what's happening within the first 20 seconds. We're going into about 2 minutes left here in the 12th round. Number of feints here still. Tried to throw a lead right hand there for Alicia Baumgartner. All right, so there we go. But they were in the clinch. Lead left hook from Alicia Baumgartner, another clinch. Right hand, lead right hand from Alicia, so, and another clinch. Like, come on. All right, here it is. We're going to see a whole bunch of, this is what I was thinking was going to be happening after round 6. There's a lot of clinching, but all right, here it is. You got like a combination there. Another lead right hand attempted from Alicia Baumgartner. 1, 2, and 1. Snapping with the jab still, still up on her feet. You know what I mean? So she's been doing that here over the course of these 12 rounds. All right. Punch to the body attempted there from Badouin. All right, more postures. All right. Well, trying to, throw a couple of blows there, Badouin. She was trying to, she was trying right there. All right. All right. They're going like scrapping there a little bit, trying to pick up the pace and whatnot. You got, 50 seconds, going to 50 seconds left here in this last round. Another lead right there from Alicia Baumgartner. Landed with the jab there before the combinations attempted from Badouin. Another clinch there. But, you see there Badouin's game. She's trying, but it's mainly been Alicia Baumgartner that kind of like controlled what happens in this fight. It's basically her. If she was like within range, then yeah, Badouin would be able to do something. But outside of that, like once, Alicia was throwing the jab and kind of like throwing those lead right hands, you really didn't have much there from Badouin. But here we are. This is about, the end of this particular fight. And you see there, that's it. That's the end of the fight. Told you it would be 12 rounds. I mean, I knew it. Like what I was saying is before the fight started, like you only had, Alicia Baumgartner have the stoppage there, years ago, right, against Terry Harper. Outside of that, you haven't really seen stoppages from her. So with this, I mean, that was kind of like I thought that was like one of the most sure things about this whole card was that this particular fight was going to go the full 12 rounds. Okay. All right, here we go. Well, we got another one of these commercials there on Netflix and that type of stuff. You're gonna have the commercial here, and you're gonna get to the whole thing with the decision, and then probably a couple more commercials before we get this whole buildup of this main event at the Casilla Center in Miami, Florida. Um, just real quick from a business perspective. Hey, shout out to Netflix or whatnot. Being able to put this together within weeks after the thing with Jake Paul and Tank Davis being canceled. But we're gonna see like how much interest or viewership that we're gonna have for this particular bout. We're gonna get those numbers. Is it gonna be close to what we got for Paul versus Tyson? Is it gonna be like, if it's like half of that, then yeah, I can't really see that being all too hot or whatever it is. You feel me? So that's the thing on that front. But yeah, this one was a should be a clear win. Therefore, Alicia Baumgardner to defend those titles, right? And then all we got left is the main event of the evening. It's finally gonna happen. It's finally gonna go down. You know what I mean? Let me see here. Like I said, I mean, you got all this stuff that's going on or whatnot. Uh, oh man, I'm I'm just checking out some comments there in reference to this particular bottle, whatever it is. So yeah. This is it, man. Let's see what we got. I mean, yeah, you should have this be, a decision win here for Alicia Baumgardner, her keeping the titles and all that type of stuff. So, that's what we got on that front. All right. Well, with that being said, man, I'm waiting for this whole thing with the main event. You feel me? Let's see. Just checking out a few things here and there or whatnot. I wonder if I was gonna be able to have some people be able to join with me, but they'll have to have the joint with the the volume off and all that type of stuff. But yeah, you got Alicia Baumgardner there getting the decision and winning. You know what I mean? So that's what we got on that front. All right. Gets the win, unanimous decision. Now she is there at 17-1 here, defending those super featherweight titles, landing 158 punches out of 570 thrown. Layla Badoon with 98 punches landed out of 452 thrown there as they showed the punch stats. But there you go. You had it 117, 110 twice, and the score of 118 to 109. So there you go. And they said what, 2 scores of 9 rounds to 3, 1 score of 10 rounds to 2 there on this front, which it kind of like pretty much what we saw. The first round and then that 11th round were in favor of Layla Badoon pretty much, and that, but outside of that, nothing really to kind of like have Alicia Baumgardner in that much trouble. You know what I mean? So there you go. So you're gonna have those comments there from Alicia Baumgardner and whatnot, and then we're gonna be hopefully minutes away from the main event of the evening here. Hopefully there's not that much delays with that. So we're gonna see how that goes on that front. I'm gonna see here. Let's see. Should we kind of like go through this like waiting game with this, or try to preview a little bit of what's happening there with over in Norman, Oklahoma? I don't know, but let's see. All right, she's talking some stuff and this and that and the third or whatever it is with with Ariel Wani or whatever it is. But we gonna see what could be next here for Alicia Baumgardner after getting this decision win, going if she goes up against Caroline Dubois, who like I said, was able to get a win earlier here against Camila Hanada there with almost a clean sweep with the scorecards and that in a 10-round bout for the WBC lightweight title. So we'll see how that goes. And man, what? Damn. Hey, yo, what's that chick name again? Hold on. What's that chick's name again? Uh, yeah, that ring card girl. Yo, I'm getting thrown off by it. I'm getting thrown off by the ring card girl though, for real, dog. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here, cause man, I had the thing. Hold on a sec. Hold on a second. You know what I mean? Cause we had the whole joint happening with that. Let's see. Yeah, so hold on, what's the name? I'm gonna look that joint up here real quick, yo. Do 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 do. But yeah, we had what's going on out here? I don't know. All right, but yeah, we got a few more minutes or whatever it is, before this this fight starts here for the main event. So let's see how that goes on that. Do, 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 do. So yeah, you had Lexi and Journey there, that's in the ring. Yeah, yo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so all right, you're gonna have this, all right. Cold feature bout's done, all that's done. Check out, what's going on with that and whatever it is. All right, she cool. It's time. Let's get this main event going. Where we at? We at almost 11 p.m. Eastern time. Remember, the main card started around 8 o'clock or after 8 o'clock. The prelims started at what, like 5 p.m. Eastern time? So that's a good little minute, you know what I'm saying, before we have this main event going on. So we'll see how that goes on that front. You feel me? Yeah, that's the thing on that. I was gonna see about like switching, seeing what's going down with the football game there. Of course, college football playoffs. There you got Alabama versus Oklahoma. Right now Alabama was leading there. Was scored like 10 points there in the third quarter, but now it is 27-24 Alabama with 14 minutes left in the game. So it's a good little scrap. You know what I'm saying? Good little scrap there on the field there between Alabama and Oklahoma. And of course, you got a few more games that will take place tomorrow there in the college football playoff. But hey, man, hey, people are, they gonna be talking about this particular fight though. You know what I mean? Let's see what else is going on. Man, what is this thing blowing up or whatever it is? Like I said, man, you got a few games is going on tomorrow there when it comes to the college football joint. But all right. See what I mean when I said the commercials? I said one commercial before they put up the decision thing, and then they're gonna have a few more here. And this is gonna last for like about 3 minutes before we get to this thing here, as far as like them talking about the main event. So boy, oh boy, is this what we're gonna have to, go through? You know what I mean? This is what we're gonna have to go through to wait for the main event. Let's just get this thing going. Let's get this main event happening, all that type of stuff, and let's get it. You know what I mean? I want to see what's going to happen here with this fight, because this is going to, be talked about for at least, a few weeks, few months. But if Jake Paul wins, it's going to be talked about a lot from this point up until next year. And if Jake Paul does get the win, come on, man, you got to have him as a fighter of the year. You got to have him as a fighter of the year. Like who do we have like as potential candidates for fighter of the year right now before this fight even was even thought about? Terrence Crawford with his win over Canelo Alvarez, pretty much can add that. Maybe a Devin Haney. I don't know, because Devin Haney, had a couple of fights this year. Maybe something like a David Benavidez, that had his wins over David Morrell Jr. and the recent one there against Anthony Yard on November 22nd. you might have a potentially someday with Naoya Inoue, maybe, but Jake Paul, you have a win over, as I say, Little Chavez earlier this year. And then if he potentially gets this win over Anthony Joshua, man, that surpasses anything that anyone has done all this year. Okay. And that ain't even, close. Like I said, right now, he is a 10-1 underdog in comparison to a 16-1 favorite for Anthony Joshua in this bout before we get this thing going. We got more ads here, 20 seconds, more ads, more of these commercials and stuff like that. I ain't even know Netflix be doing that. But given that they have acquired a number of live sports over the past, 6 to 10 months or so, of course, you got WWE on Netflix, a few other, events that'll be shown live on Netflix. So I think that's how they're able to get, a number of these advertisements on in order to, either recoup some of the money or get more money. You know what I mean? But let's see how that goes on that front. But here we go, man. Like I said, Miami, Florida. In the main event going, we got Dave Chappelle or who I see is like, oh, I thought it was the referee, man. Thought it was the referee there, but no, it's Dave Chappelle for reals. You know what I mean? So now this is what we got here left for tonight. Main event. Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. There it is. You're getting this thing here. 27-24, whatnot. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot the thing there with Jake Paul with the kind of like the Hulk Hogan theme attire that he's gonna have, for this particular fight. He got a shirt, American made or whatever it is. I don't know if y'all remember when Hulk Hogan first started at WCW, we had that whole thing with the American made theme song or whatever it is, right? So we'll see how that goes. All right, you got the whole thing with the promo of Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, man. So got that thing going on. Now remember, this is like over under 2.5 rounds. Okay. I've said like Joshua getting a KO in 3 rounds. Like toy around with them. You'll have like a little bit of fun, or so to speak, and then just turn it up a notch, be patient, just keep his distance around and just be like boom, 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 pick them apart and just put them away. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see what happens here in this one, because if it's something to the point where Joshua gets stopped, that's a wrap for him in his career. He said like, we would just get back up and go again, but how would you be able to do that if you lose to someone like a Jake Paul? Like you can't have that. That would like really turn everyone off, so to speak, there with Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Of course, Jake Paul has had his moments there in the boxing game. He's only had the one loss to Tommy Fury, but outside of that, he's faced a number of these guys, whether it's MMA or whatever it is, for a good amount of his career, until having those fights against like a Mike Tyson, then a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and now Anthony Joshua. That's a crazy mix. Mike Tyson, Chavez Jr., Anthony Joshua in 3 fights, almost within like 13 months or so. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Now we're seeing here with Anthony Joshua, of course, he's getting back from his loss to Daniel Dubois over in Wembley Stadium last September. Had elbow surgery, that he was recovering from. So he had like a timetable to get back in the ring before the end of this year. And the thing was, it was like, well, if I'm getting back before the end of this year, have a little bit of a, as they say, a warm-up bout or something like that, get an 8-rounder in and that type of thing. But, this opportunity came up after the whole thing with Tank Davis, kind of like went down. So they reached out to Joshua. Joshua's like, okay, cool, I'll do it. So now, here we go. And All right, we gonna have the people talking here. You got what is it? Kate Scott, you got Layla Ali, you got Andre Ward, you got Lennox Lewis on there. They've been talking about this, ever since this telecast started or whatever. Listen, I just want the whole thing with the customary national anthems. Play them, sing them, do whatever. Just get the stuff in the ring and let's get it going. Listen, you had the whole thing with anticipation and build up and all that type of stuff. But man, listen, I'm like, come on, man, it's not wasting time. This is like somebody that has covered the sport for as long as I've done. It's been as many events as I've been at. But when I'm there, I'm like, listen, I don't want it to be like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour in between fights. No, like, let's get it going. Y'all warming up once a fight is happening, the next fight that's on the docket, y'all should be warming up. Y'all should be having the tapes, around your hands. Y'all should be having the trainers from opposing corners like looking at y'all, doing the taping, all that type of stuff. And then once that fight's done, if it's something where it goes through the full, scheduled rounds, just have it be like 15 minutes or so, because you already know that the end of the fight's happening, so you should be like ready to go. But if it's like a knockout, just give it a little bit more time. Make sure everybody's safe from that previous fight, and then like if it's like 30 minutes or so after a knockout, then yeah, I understand that. But if it goes like a full 10 rounds, 12 rounds, or whatever it is, and it goes to a decision, no, you shouldn't be having that type of stuff where you got to wait like another 30 minutes for the next bout to start. No, I ain't with all that. Get it started. All right. So now you got, Jake Paul here bouncing up and down, pacing and whatever it is, and getting himself loose and that type of stuff. But, for me, man, I don't know if y'all saw the whole thing with the workout that happened earlier this week, but Jake Paul to me looked like he was not really sharp with it. So I got to see like what he does here, because he looks like he's like doing feints and all that type of stuff and moving in and out and whatever it is, and trying to stay loose. But I just feel like it's going to be up to Anthony Joshua to end it when he wants to end it. I don't think it's anything to the point where Jake Paul could do something unless you have a moment like what happened at Madison Square Garden between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr., where Anthony Joshua knocked Andy Ruiz down and then he got comfortable. And when he got comfortable, that's when he got caught. You don't want to get comfortable here, in the game of boxing, because hey, it's the theater of the unexpected. You know what I mean? So there you go. So that's what I'm looking at. Come on, man. There's nobody in the ring yet. What's going on here, man? Listen, these guys are in the locker room right now, getting ready to step out to get in the ring. So if they're ready to get out there and step in the ring, I want to see the the ring announcer. I want to see those ring card girls. I want to see the American flag so they could sing the national anthem. I want to see if they'll have the whole thing, if they're gonna sing the UK national anthem, all that type of stuff. I want the main event to be starting right now. Come on, man. What are we doing? See, this is the thing I'm talking about. Because if I was out there covering this thing, I would have been there since like 6? Because remember, you had Avius Griffin that was on the prelims, and I spoke with Avius Griffin there before the originally scheduled bout that was supposed to be in November. So, and I would have been out there because I would have applied for it. I would have went out there and I would have covered the fight if it was the Jake versus Tank on that scheduled date. So I would have been in that arena from maybe like 6 p.m. Up to this point. So y'all think about that. Like being in an arena for like 5 hours, so to speak. 5 hours. Yeah, it kind of gets, really, really bad once you get closer to the main event, because you want that main event to start ASAP. That's why I said, but the thing with the co-feature bout, having Alicia Baumgartner on there, I just knew that fight was gonna go the full 12 rounds. That was almost like automatic right there. You know what I mean? So you do have that, man. Wanted to see if I you have my guys out here that's watching the thing, watching the fight, but I was gonna see if I could invite somebody on, but I'm not sure if they are gonna do this without commentary or not. So let's see how that goes. You feel me? Um, what else is going on? Like I said, man, it's 11:05. All right, we got fights that's going on this evening. I hope y'all caught the whole thing with Pro Box yesterday. You have Ramon Cardenas getting a knockout win there to get back in the win column after his stoppage loss to Naoya Inoue. You should have something else going on here. Supposed to be tomorrow. I got to see what the schedule is here real quick. You do have Tony Harrison in the ring there against Ryan Damian Chavez in Detroit tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, you do have that going down. What else? Let's see. This is what over in the UK? No, over in Ghana. They got fights in Ghana. You know what I mean? That's happening tomorrow too. Craig Richards versus Dan Aziz. So you got that's going to be on the zone as well, right? So we do have that. Man, let's see what else is going on, man. Folks hitting me up, all that type of stuff. Oh, someone shout out to my guy Joseph Harrod. He says that he's going with Jake Paul because he's paying homage to Hulk Hogan. I'm like, oh man, we gonna see, man. We gonna see. But I don't know if he's gonna go out to the theme of like real American or whatever it is. But we'll see how that goes. All right, we'll see somebody in the ring. I see somebody in the ring. All right, we got the ring card girls in the ring. All right, bet. All right, you do see David Haye and Christina Poncher there, speaking with Mauro Ronaldo. Shout out to Christina. Oh, my bad. All right, you got the people in the ring. I think you got the announcer there in the ring. You got the ring card girls in there. So I want to have this fight start. Let's go. Let's get Anthony Joshua walk into the ring. Let's get Jake Paul walking into the ring. And let's get this fight started. Okay. I've been on for, what has it been? Over an hour because I scheduled this thing for like 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. And it was like right there at the start of Alicia Baumgartner versus Layla Badouin. And like I said, thing went the full 12 rounds, man. The full 12 rounds. Oh man. We got what? Oh, yeah, the thing with the college football, man. Alabama got the ball there, and it's 7.5 minutes left. They got the ball in its second and goal. Damn. So they might pull this off. Alabama might pull this off. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Yeah, I know y'all talking, Christina. I know you're talking to David Haye. I know you're talking to Mauro Ronaldo. We need to get these folks in the ring. Come on, man. What are we doing? Let's get them in the ring. Let's get them in the ring. What's going on here? You feel me? Because that's all we basically waiting on. We wait on if we gonna see a moment here when it comes to this Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua joint. Nothing else, right? So let's see how that goes on that front. Let me see if I could adjust something here real quick. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that should be good there on that front. All right. All right. So you're seeing Jake Paul, throwing some punches here and there, throwing some body shots and get himself warmed up and all that type of stuff. Right. But he needs to get his coat or gear or jacket on or whatever it is and get himself on the way to the ring. All right. That's all I want to see. All I want to see is them getting on the way to the ring. Okay. And that's it. So let's do it. All right. Oh, man. What else is out there? What else is on slate? I talk about the thing there as far as like what's going on tomorrow in the boxing game. In the following week, you will have the fights that will take place over in Riyadh. There you're gonna have Naoya Inoue defending his undisputed super bantamweight titles against David Picasso. You're gonna have the fight between Junto Nakatani and Sebastian Hernandez on this. You're gonna have Reto Susumi on there against Leobardo Sanchez. One of those fights that was scheduled to be on there had been scrapped, so that's a downer there. I think that's supposed to. I forgot who that was actually, to be honest with you, because I ain't really all too concerned about the actual matchups on that card next weekend. The only thing I'm like is, in a way, Nakatani, they win their bouts, then they're going to be fighting next year. They're in a super fight that's going to happen in Japan. Okay. So that's going to be on December 27th and on December 28th. For me, that's going to be the last show of the year. We're going to have the Boxing Source 2025 award show there, where we're going to have the Fighter of the Year, Fight of the Year, comeback or the Prospect of the Year, probably like Event of the Year. I don't know if I'll have a Failure of the Year. We might have a Failure of the Year. We'll see how that goes. Women's Fight of the Year, Women's Fighter of the Year. So we'll have those different categories. We're probably going to have that for the next podcast episode that will take place this upcoming Sunday on the 21st. Okay, so we're going to do that. Oh man, what are we doing? Like, why are we talking with Dave Portnoy? Come on, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. When was the end of this fight between Alicia Baumgartner and Layla Badouin? Right? What about like 10:45 or something like that? Here we are, we're close to like 11:15, and this fight still ain't starting. Like, come on, man, what are we doing? They're doing this whole thing with bets and all that type of stuff. Like, come on, man, come on. Alabama scored a touchdown, so they're up by 10 points with about 7 minutes left in the game. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting here for Oklahoma. So we'll see. Because remember, like I said, Oklahoma beat them, earlier this year over in, Tuscaloosa. Now this is over in Norman, Oklahoma, and we'll see. But I think that whole thing that happened in the second quarter really changed, what was going on as far as like the overall momentum in that game. All right. It says what Josh would have win in rounds 1 and 2, boosted to plus 150 promotional thing there with DraftKings. I guess they're doing their thing with DraftKings or whatever. So we'll see. All I want to know is like, when are we gonna have this whole thing starting? Like all that type of stuff. I don't care about no whole thing with these bets, these parlays, and all that type of stuff. Let's get this fight started. Y'all want to see this fight get started. I want to see this fight get started. Let's get this thing started. Okay. Like, people have been out there since like 8 o'clock. They done seen the first bite. Shout out to Jamal Harvey and all that type of stuff there. We got my guy hit me up about who I got. Let me put that in there. And Joshua KO3 there. You know what I mean? I said Joshua KO3. Yeah. So, we got, and that's the thing, man. I've been getting like a lot of messages in reference to, people looking at, okay, who's, there as far as like, who's going to win and all that type of stuff. And, if they're interested in the fight or whatever, but, depending on who the fight or who the fighter is or who's involved, then they'll be talking about it. So we'll see, man. What it is. Another commercial. Oh my God. Another one of these daggum commercials, man. And it's another minute and 30 seconds, man. What are we doing here? Like, come on. See, this is what I'm talking about. I go to these events, whether it's like, a big event or whatever it is, and you get ready for the main event. And if you're covering the bout or the fight card, you've been there for a good amount of hours, right? You're not going there as a fan. You can't like go out there and get a couple beers or whatever it is. Like, nah, you can't do all that. You're there to cover the fights. You're there to see what's going on with the fights, analyzing the fights, or reporting on what's going on, or taking the photos, or all that type of stuff. So you're pretty much at like one spot through the entire night, right? So if you're there for like 3 or 4 hours, it kind of gets, really, really troubling to, stay active, stay mobile, stay moving. You know what I mean? So like here in this instance, if you like there, you going there from like say for example 7 o'clock. If you want to get there before the main card starts, it's one thing. Now some people, of course, a lot of fans, they don't show up until maybe two or one fight before the main event. But if you're there covering the sport, you want to you pretty much try to get there either as early as possible or whatever it is, so that you make sure that you're at a good spot and kind of got everything lined up before the main event starts or whatever thing starts up, right? So I'm like, yeah, man. All right, well, what is it? Yeah, you got Timberland there. Like who else they say that's there in attendance or whatever it is. Of course, you got the thing there, Miami Rick Ross. Well, the rapper Rick Ross, Freeway Rick Ross. Shout out to Freeway Rick Ross. What's that? Yeah, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry, I don't know who this Bella Bahia. Yeah, hey, y'all probably know who that is. I don't know who that is. All right. We got Benny. Dan, I don't even know who that is either. This Benny dude, nah, I don't know who that is either. You know what I mean? They're probably on Netflix, that type of stuff. You feel me? Well, this guy is. You know what I mean? Man, Rife. But I don't even watch Netflix that much unless if it's like, oh my God, I got freaking Teofimo there. What is it? Oh, I don't know what shirt you got on. What are you doing? Getting popcorn? Yeah, getting popcorn or whatever it is, man. Of course, you got the thing there with Logan or whatnot. You know who I haven't seen? Someone like a Floyd. What if Floyd Mayweather was there? So okay, you got McElroy in there and all that type of stuff. I bet. Like who else? You said Michael Irvin is there. I don't know what these folks are doing. Oh my goodness, man. Oh man. You got Juan Soto there, baseball and all that type of stuff. So yeah, we got a few notable people there in attendance for this thing and whatnot. So we'll see. But I want to hear. Well, I can't hear, of course, can't have the audio on this thing, but I want to see the announcer there, Mo, say that this fight is about to start. I got these ring people in the ring. You see Big Mo in the ring. Let's get this thing started. Finally, come on, let's do this. I want to see a tail of the tape. I want to see the lights and the stuff in there for the ring entrance and all that. I want to see that happening. So what's going on? I don't want to see no thing. What are you walking for? Oh, okay. All right. We're doing the all right, finally. We get these things here with the national anthem. So let's go. You know what I mean? Save the king, all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Let's do all that. And then you will have the US national anthem, and then let's get these guys in the ring. Let's get this thing started. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on right now. Once again, thanks everyone here for listening live and whatnot. Hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it here on the Boxing Source. We got over 3,000 subscribers, being able to support us. We thank you all for the support. It said there real quick on the college football tip. Alabama, it looked like Alabama got the ball back and they're up 10 with 5:45 left in the game. All right, that's one. All right, one national anthem out the way. All right, let's go with the U.S. national anthem. Let's do that, get it out of the way, and then we get this fight started, and then we see what happens with Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. All right, so let's do it. Uh oh yeah, by the way, I have no idea who these people are. Let's see here, man. Oh, Ali Brooke. Like I said, I don't be following pop culture like that or whatever it is. So I don't know who Ali Brooke is. All right. Y'all probably know who Ali Brooke is, but I don't know who Ali Brooke is. All right. Uh, I don't know. Looking at the mannerisms, I don't know if she's like really doing a great job or not. I'm just being honest with you. All right. Yeah. You know what? You know what I want to know? I want to know how many comps that they had for this event. I want to know how many comps they gave out for this event because I'm seeing people there. I'm seeing a few seats that ain't there, but I want to see like they had the thing there with the comps. Uh, it's kind of funny, looking at this thing here with people doing the national anthems and how they move while singing the national anthem. It's almost like they trying too hard. Like, come on, what are we doing here, man? It shouldn't be all that. You shouldn't have to do all that or whatever it is. But here we are. Like I said, let's get these people walking to the ring. Hey man, I don't think the national anthem was this damn long. Come on, yo. What are we doing? All right. Did you say yeah? All right. That's it. All right, let's go. Damn, she ain't done yet. What's going on here, yo? I don't remember. I don't remember the national anthem being this long. Yo, come on, what are we doing here? All right, she's done. She's done. Oh man, come on. Let's get these fighters to the ring. Let's get it going. Or whatever. Oh, wait, she's still going. Oh man, what are we doing here? Did she do like two? Did she do two songs? I don't remember this thing. Oh, I don't remember. Yo, what are we doing here? Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Just you know, mosey on over. We want the fight. FITES fights. All right. Let's get it going. Let's get it started. Let's get it going. Of course, you're gonna have Anthony Joshua get into the ring first, then Jake Paul after that, and then we get these introductions and let's get it cracking. You know what I mean? Oh man. All right, finally, tail of the tape. Let's do this, man. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much like had a long day. Leading into what's going on today. You'll also have the thing there, like like I said, if you follow the thing there with the boxing source, have a project going here with like trading cards also. Was getting some traction when it comes to like one particular fighter. They've had like a lot of support for it. A number of the cards or for people that's within the Washington D.C. area, but I do have a few other things there. He says, a guy, Jake Pylon in the building says, well, let's go, Jake Paul, destroy that Brit. Of course, he is, like you say, a real American. Yeah, I'm not sure if you had seen it there, Brother Jay, but, like I said, I mean, I still got, like I was mentioning there with the trading cards there, if you're able to see this, yep, got the thing there with Terrence Allen Crawford. I mean, so we got a few that's there that's been developed, that's been printed out, and that type of thing. So I got a few that's on there, that's on slate. I do have stuff for like Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis is one. What else I got? Lamont Roach Jr. I was able to speak with Lamont Roach Sr. earlier this week. But you got the whole thing there with Lamont Roach Jr. as well. So those are like a number of the cards that I do currently have. They're not necessarily out for sale like that as of yet, but they will be. All right, you got Anthony Joshua. that's here. That's walking. All right. So you see here, he's out there. He's like, okay, let's do this. And I'm stepping into this ring. All right. Been in camp, all that type of stuff. And now getting himself ready. My thing is, I want to see if yeah, yeah, it's taking forever, man. But like I was saying, man, I'm like, all right. Now you got Anthony Joshua, he's walking to the ring and all that type of stuff, and whatever it is. He's cool, he's calm. We ain't got, the big, introductions and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I don't know who's rapping. Yeah, I don't know who's rapping. You know what I mean? Probably one of them UK rappers or whatever it is. But Joshua is just stepping up to the ring and everything like that. Giving daps or whatever. Stepping into the ring, not that much. Fanfare. You got Eddie Hearn there with him. I forgot. Like I don't know if he's working with Anatoly Lomachenko or whoever it is there, because remember he was over working in camp in Spain with the Lomachenko camp. But he was just stepping in the ring, no extra fanfare with Anthony Joshua or anything like that. He's just there, just walking around, pacing, in the ring and that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So we'll see how this goes, man. We got the Nigerian flag there with him. There, I know he's from the UK, but he got Nigerian roots and whatnot. All right, so all right, damn, the rapper's still going. Like he gonna do the whole song? Come on, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Oh, jeez, man. All right, so all right, here it is. Jake Paul there with the Hulk Hogan themed attire or whatnot. What else I said? I said the thing there with the trading cards, of course. I had the thing there also with Jaleel Major Hackett. So I got Jaleel Hackett. Also, what else? You got the thing there, for the WBC featherweight title there, you got Bruce Carrington. So I got Bruce Carrington as well. So that says like, what we got. All right. All right. So yeah, they doing the intro for Jake Paul. And you know what? I'm getting these. I don't know why I'm getting the thing there for ESPN, but looks like they got Oklahoma in the red zone. They got to score and they got to score quick if they think that they're gonna get back into this game. All right. I don't know if they got the whole thing with the theme song. I don't even know if they could use the theme song there from for Real American or something like that, but we'll see. I don't know, y'all might be listening to it or whatever it is, but what's the guy's name? Rick Derringer or something like that. That sung the theme there for Hulk Hogan, Real American. But all right, he's out there walking or whatever it is, but we'll see. We got Jake Paul out there, so it's just a moment before he gets out there. Oh, he said 50 Cent was out at OU tonight. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know he was, interested in that type of thing. But what we got here? Oh God! Wait a minute. I know. Well, what is it that Big Boy said? I know that ain't who I think it is. Wait a minute. Hold up. I know that ain't who I think it is. Oh man. Jeez, man. This is what we're doing. Like, how many people are there? Like going to the ring with them? That's almost like 20 people. Oh, he said he said he did a concert there, fourth quarter on the field. All right, let's see. Man, don't tell me you got that snitch with him. Oh my God, what are we doing here? Yeah, this ain't it. This is not it. This is not it. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh man. Let's see here, man. So, all right, we got the introductions. They're all, said and done and everything like that. Okay, cool. Time for this thing to finally go down. Now, remember, I had said, man, I wanted the main event thing to start and all this stuff to start by around 10:45, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Here we are, and it's 11:30. Man, now you see why it kind of like is a stretch for me to go to a number of these events like back to back. Yeah, see, I knew it. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, I know that ain't who I think it is. You know what I'm saying? But nah, he got Kashi 6ix9ine. Should have got MGK, yeah. Probably like MGK or Yellow Wolf, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But now we got these introductions here, okay? And you got Joshua Payson. He's like, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's get this over with. Let's see, if I'm here, I'm ready to, do what I have to do, or I don't have it anymore, or whatever. So, we'll see. But hey, what's my joint here? Pulling up. Yeah, Sooners lost, man. Yeah, that's the whole thing, man. After dude threw that interception before the end of the first half, I knew that OU was pretty much in trouble. Because I mean, if you really think about it, though, OU ain't really like that dynamic on offense. You have John Mateer, and then what else? So as long as you're able to contain John Mateer, then you pretty much have them. Because all they basically relied on for a good part of the season, particularly when Mateer was hurt, was the defense forcing turnovers and getting points off of turnovers. But hey, Bama wins. They move on to the next round. All right, they're introducing Anthony Joshua, of course, two-time former unified heavyweight champion of the world, and getting this thing ready and going. Okay, now they're going to introduce the disruptor El Gallo, Jake Paul, or whatever it is. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I mean, I don't think they really had the numbers for attendance, but I don't think they really cared about that. All they cared about is the viewership here for Netflix. That's it. Oh, speaking of that though, we haven't seen that much as far as like any glitches or delays as far as like the stream goes. We haven't seen that. So I guess that's good or that's bad. Maybe it's good because they amped up the thing with the bandwidth, or maybe they ain't getting that much viewership that maybe they may be getting. Is it Wahlburger? I have to see, man. We ain't got none of them over there. Sportcraft 123, man. What's going on with you? You know what I'm saying? What's happening? Checking in. Like I said, man, we got the live, the live stream here. Talking while the fight is going on. You know what I mean? Just seeing here what's happening. You got the introductions here. You're gonna have Jake Paul. They're talking about Jake Paul and everything like that. He's bouncing up and down. He got this Hulkamania jacket on. The red and yellow or whatever it is. So he's getting this thing started. You feel me? But salute to y'all here. Being able to be part of this live chat. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button here. Like I said, I've been on since they had the Alicia Baumgartner, Layla Badoon fight, because I wanted to start at around a good time to get some conversation going. But I had live commentary of that fight, and I knew it was going to 12 rounds. I just knew it. Even with the pretty good performance there from Alicia Baumgartner and her scoring one of those knockdowns, I knew it was going to 12 rounds. All right, they said, Jake Paul. All right, now they're gonna go through the instructions. I don't know who the referee is. I don't know if it's who is the guy there that it got? Oh, I don't know. I'll be able to find out. But you got Anthony Joshua there in the ring, right in the middle of the ring already. There, he's ready to go. You're gonna have Jake Paul. He's stepping up to the middle of the ring and going through the instructions. I forgot this referee's name, but you see here Anthony Joshua. Looking at him and things like that. All right, you got the instructions there quickly. Here we go. We're going to start round one. Round one is going down right now. You know what I'm saying? Both of them getting loose. They're going to be getting to the center of the ring. Remember, this is a 24-foot ring. So we're going to see if either one of them is going to do a lot of movement here early, or they're going to get in the mix within the center of the ring. All right, let's get the bell sounded. All right, round one sounding off right now. Here we go. Jake Paul runs towards Anthony Joshua and gets to the ropes. He does a couple of feints. You got Anthony Joshua bouncing up and down. You got Jake Paul moving around the ring, trying to go off the high guard. Nobody's thrown the punch yet. Here we go. We got Anthony Joshua with the jab thrown. We got Anthony Joshua kind of like sulking out Jake Paul. He goes to the body. Anthony Joshua attempts. Jake Paul does a foot feint, another foot feint, throws out a jab. Seeing what's going on there with that. All right, Anthony Joshua, like walking him down. Jake Paul tries to throw a punch to get within range. Here it is, Jake Paul, they're just bouncing around the ring. Joshua throws a punch to the body, jab to the body from Anthony Joshua. 1-2 from Jake Paul, and Anthony Joshua tries to counter with a right hook. Jake Paul bouncing around the ring. And Anthony Joshua just following them around. Still following them around. Oh, he tries to throw a right hand. Jake Paul, he trots around, to one part of the ring. Joshua throws or attempts to throw a left hook. He's like just stepping around or stepping with Jake Paul here right now. All right, they go into a clinch. And they go down. Jake Paul goes down to the canvas there, after a clinch. It's crazy. All right, so here we go. Jake Paul, trying to get within range, tries to throw a jab to go within range. You got Anthony Joshua there, bouncing in and out, pawing the jab out, throws the jab, and Jake Paul goes, under the jab. They get within close. They, clinch up. All right, here it is. Still got Jake Paul moving around the ring. See, this is what I was talking about with the whole thing with the 24-foot ring. That Jake Paul was going to see if he could utilize all 24 of that. You know what I mean? He throws like an off-handed left there to Anthony Joshua. Here we are. We're in 36 seconds there. Joshua throws the right hand to the body. And he's still following around Jake Paul, and there it is. And he tries to throw a right hand. Misses with the right hand. And here he goes. He's like following Jake Paul. And he's just trying to stay out of range from Jake Paul here, here early in this bout. And here we are. We're already at the end of round one, or going to the end of round one. Not really that much action here, so far within round one. You know what I mean? Greg Anderson says that's a scripted fall. All right. So remember, the over-under was 2.5 rounds. Now, I had said that I was going to go Joshua KO 3. So we're seeing here how this is going to go. Scripted fall and all that type of stuff, man. So let's see. All right. Having a break in between rounds. What is this? They don't even say like who's in the corner there for Anthony Joshua there. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes on that front. You have the thing there, instruct them and that type of stuff. Because you see here early with Jake Paul, he's trying to move around the ring and then see if he could, get the stamina down for Anthony Joshua. And then I guess try to work him if he gets it past, 3 or 4 rounds. So let's see here. Here we go, round 2. So he's moving around. Still, you got Jake Paul moving around the ring, bouncing up and down, moving around the ring. So let's see here how this goes. All right, a jab there from Anthony Joshua. All right, he's pulling out the jab. Jake Paul tries to go to the body and almost gets met with a right hand counter. All right, another right hand there from Anthony Joshua. All right, he's pulling out the left. You know what I'm saying? While you got Jake Paul bouncing up and down. You know what I mean? Oh, well, he tried to land that big right hand, and Jake Paul gets away from it. All right. So we see here what Anthony Joshua is doing. Looks like he's, still following them around the ring, leaving the jab out, left hand out, and that type of thing. You haven't seen Jake Paul throw much except for right there. And you got the punch to the body. Oh, also, I got to see what's up with Anthony Joshua. Remember, he is recovering from that elbow surgery. So we got to see here if he's going to be fluent with that. All right, the clinch, they're throwing punches in the clinch or whatever it is, and they tie up and it's going to be broken up. All right, here we go. Still got Jake Paul, moving around the ring and that type of thing, trying to do feints, foot feints there to try to throw. Okay. Another punch there attempted from Anthony Joshua to the body. Double jab attempted there from Anthony Joshua. All right, another jab. Jake Paul ducks under that. And he tries to go to the body, almost gets hit with a left hook. Okay. All right, here it is there. So another feint there attempted from Anthony Joshua, foot feint, that is. Throwing the left jab there. You still have Jake Paul like running around the ring. Now, here's the thing about it. Like, is he going to continue to do that, while trying to see if Anthony Joshua is going to follow him around? Now, you do have the thing there with Joshua. It's not like he's, exerting a lot of energy, at least early here, while trying to, follow around Jake Paul. So we'll see how this goes. All right. He says, who wrote the script? Oh, man. I don't know. Some people are saying this is almost like, Paul versus Tyson. You know what I mean? So we're going to see how this goes. All right. And another clinch. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Now, the thing is that they said you can't really do something where you can intentionally, script this because you get in lots of trouble for it, from legal perspective. But we'll see. All right. We got 9 seconds left here within the second round. Okay. All right. And you got Anthony Joshua there. He's kind of, just waiting around. And that is the end of the second round. Says he ran away from AJ. Hey, man. So we're going to see how long he's going to be doing that. We're going to see how long he's going to be doing that, because here it is. This is what I said was going to be, the round where I would see if Anthony Joshua is going to get him. Now, the other day, while previewing the fight, I said that with the odds or the results were like if Anthony Joshua was able to get a stoppage in round 5, that was plus 1,000 in comparison to like a plus 450 there for if he does it in round 3. And you see there, like he did attempt to go for the right hand and things like that. You have Jake Paul, kind of like doing things to taunt Anthony Joshua here, right? But here we go, round 3. And round 3, you still have Jake Paul like hopping around the ring and things like that. So we'll see what happens. All right, he's trying to throw punches within range. Let's see how that goes. All right, Joshua throws a hook. I mean, throws another right hand while they're in close quarters. All right, another one here. All right, Anthony Joshua, still kind of like following them around. You have Jake Paul throwing a punch. All right, let's see here what he's doing. Let's see what they got. See, he's almost if he's trying to set a trap. Let's see. Anthony Joshua there, throws a punch and throws a punch to the body. Gets some, within a clinch. Let's see. Here we go. Round 3. All right. You got, with Jake Paul, kind of like waiting things out, and whatever it is. You got, Joshua throwing jabs. And you still got Jake Paul running, and he's almost like off balance, trying to run while he's getting his back to the ropes. Oh, he throws an uppercut. Okay. Let's see how that goes. All right, throwing the uppercut there. Let's see. All right. Now we got, almost halfway through the third round. You see there that, Jake Paul is getting within close range, so you don't have a full extension there from Anthony Joshua when he's landing the punches. All right, throws body shot there up close, and throws another one up there in close quarters, another punch to the body. I mean, so here it is. All right, so here we go. You got another one here. You still have Jake Paul trying to bounce around the ring and duck here and duck there, and you got a number of feints going on. All right, another jab there from Anthony Joshua. Not really there as far as like the timing is concerned. See what I mean? So let's see how this goes. Another clinch. Another clinch. All right, so there he goes there with that. Let's say round 3, 22 punches. Only 5 punches thrown there from Jake Paul, so to speak. All right, here it is. Let's see what we got. All right, another one where it follows the ring and tries to set a trap there for Jake Paul there while Jake Paul was right in the corner. All right, you got Jake Paul ducking down and things like that. So let's see how he approaches this. It's almost like he's like I said, he's utilizing every part of the ring. They're just going around the ring and around the ring and around the ring there. So you're not seeing much as far as like from an engagement standpoint there from Jake Paul. You're not seeing that. Damn, that's round 3. Like I said, there ain't been much action. You know what I'm saying? Not much action at all there. In round 3, here it is. It's already past round 3. That's crazy. Like I ain't seen much action actually to be honest with you with either fighter, but we're gonna see here how this goes. If they're having it to the point where you're gonna see who's gonna get tired. But for this to get past this round 3, that's kind of crazy. It said he's not invading. I don't know. But my thing is, you kind of seeing like the timing. That's the thing that I'm trying to look at. It's the timing here. And all you're seeing is like Jake really kind of like clinching and that type of stuff here. So here we are. We're going into round 4. Here we go, round 4. Let's see what we got here from round 4. All right. Back to Jake Paul, moving around the ring, kind of dipping down and that type of stuff. There you did see a jab landed there from Anthony Joshua. We tried to land the right hand there, Jake Paul. Tried to see if he could get within range. Another one where he attempts a clinch and goes down to the canvas again. Oh man, this is something here. All right, so let's see what we got. All right. We got Anthony Joshua. Like I said, he's following Jake Paul. And you see Jake Paul is trying to land the right hand. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Let's see how this goes. Oh, he's trying to, and again, he goes down to the canvas. Oh, man. Not engaging. Yeah, not engaging. He's saying something to Jake Paul, but hey, I don't know. Let's see what happens here in this. You got Jake Paul. I mean, he's still, moving around the ring, but how long is he going to be able to do that? Especially with the thing there as far as like clinch. But you also see there that he's going to be trying to set traps or whatever it is. It looks like, so let's see how that goes. All right. They try to, do something in a clinch. Joshua's still following them around. Let's see how this goes. All right. See there with like a movement or whatever it is. Yeah, you kind of like see him be a little bit slow there. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about it. Oh, and he goes down again. Oh man, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Oh man, let's see what's going on, man. Yeah, he's still hopping around and going around the ring and that type of stuff. But this is the thing about it. Like, is he gonna be able to do this? For another, like I said, this is scheduled for 8 rounds. Ooh, uppercut from Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? So let's see here what we got. Like I said, this is scheduled for 8 rounds. If this thing goes to full 8, I'm gonna be like really, really pissed off. We try to. This guy goes down again. Oh my God. What are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? No, don't be saying nothing. Don't be saying nothing there. Come on, man. Oh, this guy talking about like he's walking like he's injured. Come on, bro. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Oh my God. You know what I mean? Uh, almost like he said like he injured himself. Oh, he's like trying to take a break. Oh, you got me, brother. Hey, since he got the Hulk Hogan attire, he should be like, oh, you got me, brother. Let's see what happens here. He missed the uppercut, then he goes down to the canvas and that type of stuff. And this that just falls down, man. This is his injured. Oh my God, yo. All right, here we go. We resuming and that type of stuff. Let's see what happens here. Oh my God. Oh man, let's see what happens here, man. Oh, he's trying to, go in and try to land the left hook. All right. Hey. Oh man, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Why is the time going, man? Yo, this is absolutely sloppy, yo. This is absolutely sloppy, yo. This is absolutely sloppy, yo. Oh my God. This is crazy work. Oh man. Oh man. All right. You know what? Let's do this, man. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. This is gonna be the end of the round, end of the fourth round right here. You know what I'm saying? All right. Rematch. Oh my God. What are we doing here, man? This is like this is very sloppy, bro. Like you running around the ring, you trying to, land a big shot. You getting in a clinch. You can't move Anthony Joshua, and you fall into the canvas multiple times. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? This is goodness gracious, man. Like, I don't even know what to make of this, man. Wow, man. This is insane, bro. You trying to give this man instructions or whatever it is, and all he's doing is just hopping around the ring and bouncing around the ring and all that type of stuff, man. Like, what are we doing here? Here we are, the beginning of round 5. Let's see if we have more sloppy stuff going on, or we see an actual punch getting landed. More clinching, more wrestling, more clinching. Let's see here. You gotta have I say you should have a bigger ref here for this. All right. You got a jab there from Anthony Joshua. Another jab, another jab, another jab. Oh, hey, there's something up with the ring because you seen Joshua slip there in his back foot. All right. Another, attempt of a jab there from Jake Paul. There he's kind of like out of range and that type of stuff. He tried to land with the right hand and almost got caught himself. He goes down to the canvas again and again. I don't know. There's something up with the ring, yo. It might be something up with the ring, like people slipping and sliding and all that type of stuff. Let's see what's going on here, man. Let's see. All right, now you kind of see Anthony Joshua like fake around, do feints, and he got hit with a right hand though. He did get hit with a right hand, and then so we got a little bit more action here. We got a little bit more action. Oh yeah, Jake Paul tried to land a right hand. He tried to land the right hand. And those left. He was able to land the left. So he's able to connect with the left here. Oh, he tries to, works the body and that type of stuff. Oh, so we got like a little bit more. See, hey, I'm telling you, there's something up with the ring, though. There's something up with the ring. Oh, hey, that was a hit to the body right there. That was a hit to the body. Yep, that was count. He knocked him down with a body shot. Yep. But there's something up with the ring though, because they've been slipping and sliding, especially at one part of the ring. They're over where that blue corner is, right? So you got to watch that. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what happens here. See, in this part of the ring, it's like there's been a lot of slipping. So we see how that goes here with that front. Man, he better not stop him. He better not stop Jake Paul in round 5. As I said, man, you put something around 5. He goes down again. Oh, get up, Jake. Come on, you better get up. Oh my God, I'm not a better person, but did I say? I told people to put something around 5. Did I tell people? Oh, come on, man, please don't have this thing in, y'all. Come on, man. Come on, you got to get through this round. Oh man, he's trying to do something. Let's see what happens here, man. Looks like Jake is very tired here. You got Anthony Joshua walking them down. Walking them down. Oh, good one. He tried to set a trap there, Jake Paul, and he threw and landed a right hand. Oh, there's about 15 seconds left. Oh no! Oh, man, he got 2 knockdowns. Oh my goodness, man! If he was able to properly hit Jake Paul, damn, it's going through the 5th round. Dang! Oh man! Oh, that's in the round 5. Oh my god! This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. If he had stopped him in round 5, and I told people to put a little bit on round 5. Oh my goodness, man. They talking with him. They talking with him. They boosting him up. Let's see. Let's see what happens with Jake Paul. Is he able to do something? Because you see that Jake Paul was able to land a right hand, right? See? The thing is, he's trying to set up Anthony Joshua and then just go on with the overhand right. But let's see here, man. Oh man. Oh man. See, this is the thing, man. Oh, we got people talking with me, man. I can't even do it. I can't even do it, man. Oh man, he's hit me up right now, man. All right, here we go. Round 6. Round 6. Let's see what's going on. Hey, we got too many people up on the top of the ring in the apron, man. They didn't even say nothing about it. All right, here we go. You got Jake Paul. He's still moving around. Why are those people still on the top of the ring? Oh my goodness, man. What are we doing here? Oh goodness. All right. Hey, you still listen. Oh, he's tired. He is tired. Let's see what Jake Paul does when he's tired. He didn't even hit him. Oh my God. Come on, man. He didn't even hit him. You gotta be kidding me. What is going on here? Oh my God. Yo, nah, bro. Nah, bro. Come on, man. We gotta do something, yo. Hit him to the body. Do something, man. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here? Oh man, this is crazy work, son. See, he's still trying to set him up with that right. He's still trying to set him up with that right. Oh my goodness. Oh man, what are we doing here? Oh man, he gets hit with an uppercut. Oh, he's taunting Anthony Joshua. Oh man, here it is. He's trying to set him up. He's trying to set a trap. He's throwing the lunging left and right hands. Anthony Joshua's just following him down. Oh man, he ain't even doing much, but he's throwing punches. Oh, is he gonna get up? 7, 8, 9, 10. It's over. It's over. Oh, what is happening in the 5th round? Oh my God. Oh. 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 he spared him. He spared him. But he almost got injured, man. I'm telling you. Yo, there was one part of the ring that was bad slippery, bro. I'm telling you. Oh man, come on, man. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, man. See, look at that, man. Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. This is funny as shit. I don't know what we just watched, man. I don't know what we just watched. Off. This is funny as shit. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man. Oh, this is funny as shit, though, man. I'm telling you. Oh, I don't know what I watched, dog. I don't. Oh my goodness, man. He's just walking. Yo, Anthony Johnson was like, he just, waited until dude was bad tired. Oh man, this was funny though. This was funny. This was funny though. Oh, this is funny, man. Oh man, how funny is this, man? Woo! I'll tell you. Nah, Jay. Nah, Jay. Come on, man. Don't say that. Don't say that. You picked Jake Paul. You picked him to win, man. You picked him to win. Oh man. Oh, man, come on, man. But you seen that. You seen that, man. I mean, Jake Paul, tried. He tried. He said he pulled all of his punches to not hurt him. He said, garbage. Come on, man. Oh man. Hey, when you see Jake Paul like the lead to the ropes, oh man. See? The corner is doing right. Yo, I'm fucking tripping, yo. I'm tripping. Oh my god, yo. Oh goodness, man. Oh man, but that was a good setup though. Oh, yo, yo, they have to knock down before this one. He didn't even knock him down. Yo, but that was a good one. He said, boom, you know what I mean? Oh man. Oh, but you gotta see him back in the ring, man. Yeah, he's up. You know what I mean? Oh, it's like, oh yeah, you're good show, good show. Yo, we're both millions of dollars. He said, he said, JJ was poaching. Oh man, hold up, man. I might get my guy on the phone, man. He said Paul didn't even get hurt. He just got tired. He said, I hope Wilder beats AJ. Listen, Wilder is not going to beat Anthony Joshua. Like, we got to see if Wilder is going to be able to fight Alexander Usyk next, because that's going to be the fight that people are going to talk about here in 2026 for Alexander Usyk. You know, that's the last fight left for whatever legacy that Alexander Usyk can have here, excuse me, within the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? It's a fight there with Deontay Wilder. Okay, you're gonna have Anthony Joshua going up against Tyson Fury next year. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, no one could beat Alexander Usyk. He's better than all of them. Yeah, I mean he's a guy. You know, he's beaten everybody out there except for the fight with Deontay Wilder. I'm not really, seeing anything as far as like him, as far as like Usyk fighting like Zalay Zhang or something like that. He's not going to be fighting no Agi Cabello. Cabello has a fight defending the WBC interim title. Yeah. All right, bet. My guy, the Boxer Academic in the building, man. Let me see here if I could you'll get the link sent. Let me get that joint sent over to you here. I'm gonna hit this thing on with the StreamYard and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll be able to add folks on. I don't know if my guy Jay Pylo wants to be joining on here either, but we'll see how this goes on that front, man. So yeah, actually I'm gonna have to do it this way. Let me get the thing here with the link there, and then I'm gonna send it. Y'all probably send it on the thing there with the Facebook joint. So let me see here. I'll get this thing here, and then I'm sorry, y'all, but that was funny as shit. That was funny as shit. Oh, you got Coach Bomac posting. Oh, Coach Bomac posted. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he was a Tide fan. Damn. All right, yeah. All right, yeah. I'm gonna send a link here, Mike, here in a bit, and you'll be able to join in because, oh my goodness, that was funny as shit, yo. He said, yeah, Usyk is a dangerous dude. Yeah. He said he could have got after it after round one, but probably had money on it. Hey, man, see, that's why you think I was saying stuff about that round 5. Because I said, hey, look, if he got that around 5, ooh, see, boy, man, listen, man. Because I said, the whole thing with the plus 450 around 3. I was like, nah. But I saw that round 5 and plus 1,000. I was like, ooh, that was a little bit, with Tyson or whatever it is, right? But man, this is something, man. This is something. I don't know if y'all want to join in or something. I'm gonna be on here for a few more minutes. Man, this, but that was funny. That was funny because I seen there within the first round of what Jake Paul was doing, and I'm like, okay. And I seen this like before the fight when they said it was like a 24-foot ring. I said, watch Jake Paul try to move around the ring as much as possible and then see what would happen as far as like if he would be able to wear down Anthony Joshua, right? And you see like that type of plan or whatever, but you see like like he said, hey Jake, you can go to barbecue together soon. This was script. You can't even prove it. You can't even say that it was, man, because listen, you had multiple people in trouble for this, like from feds. The feds are onto that. So I don't know. But man, like said, AJ took it easy to let go around 5. Hey, listen, man. When you saw Jake Paul moving around the ring, and then remember that first clinch where both of them went down to the canvas, and I was like, oh man. And then I seen them slipping and sliding. I was like, oh man. So I was like, oh, this ain't good. Oh yeah, Poly Market. Oh, that's what the chain is. Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. Who? I was like, what type of chain is that? Because I was like, wait a minute. Is it betting on round 5? No, I would have bet on round 5 because hey, I was like, man, like I said, I seen like AJ by KO in round 3 plus 450. And I seen like AJ by KO in round 5 plus 1,000. I was like, ooh, that looks mad appetizing right there. But man, I was like, oh, when they had the 2 knockdowns, and I was like, oh, I thought he was gonna get it in round 5. And I was like, oh, but that was like some funny stuff though. I was like, that nigga round 6, that first knockdown, he didn't even hit him. I'm tired. He didn't hit him, man. He didn't hit him. Oh my god. Oh goodness, man. Oh, this is funny. This is funny, man. And I'm getting comments here for okay. Somebody said okay. Oh man, this is funny as shit, man. This is funny as shit, man. Oh goodness, yo. Now they talk with Jake Paul and all that, is that round 1 and AJ was punching Aaron Walker slow on purpose, man. He was like, man, y'all can see me apart. I don't know how far I can go back with this chair or whatever it is. But he is like walking, he's jabbing, walking, jabbing, and then he'll just do something here and then whatever it is and whatnot. And then, we just kind of like said, hey, okay, I'll see what, Jake Paul could do. Because Jake Paul was just, moving around, ducking down, and then trying to, throw the overhand right and that type of stuff. I was like, come on, man. What are we doing? You know what I mean? He said, this bitch, man. Oh, man, listen, because all Joshua did was like just, we just falling around and boom. And you can see like, folks say how he pulling punches because he looked bad slow. He was like throwing the right hand and Jake was like trying to slip and dunk around the right hand and all that type of stuff. I mean, that was just some crazy work, bro. Oh, man. All right, here we go with Jake Paul and his, inspirational speeches and all that type of stuff, man. Oh man. He said they got people to bet on that round 1 that AJ would drop Paul in. Hey, I knew it wasn't going to be round 1. I knew, like, if anything, I knew it was not going to be within that 1 round. I just knew that because I'm like, one, I just like for one, I don't have Joshua as like a fast starter. He's the guy that's like patient and just just tries to break a person down and then goes for the kill. You know what I mean? So he'll have to like set a trap or whatever it is, or at least catch you with like a good 1-2 early, for him to like get like an early knockdown or that type of thing, right? So I knew it wasn't going to be round one. All right, but I got my guy, one of my guys here to join in here in this particular instance here. I'm going to see here if he's able to unmute the mic here that's supposed to be checking in, or I probably have to do it myself. I don't know. All right, he got it. Boxing Academic is in the building. What's going on, Boxing Academic? Let's see here. You able to hear me? Hold on. Let me add him.
You hear me?
Right. Yep. All right, now we got it. What's good?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep. I can't hear you now, so say something.
No, I'm able to I'm able to hear you.
Give me one
can't
second.
Hear me on this show? All right. Real quick, shout out to Greg Anderson.
I can't hear Nate. You saying I did?
Yeah. All right. I don't know. Maybe I have to check out and then check back in. Hold on a second. Yeah, I ain't gonna do the remove. So I'm gonna see. Yeah, my guy Boxing Academic's gonna drop off and then jump back on. I don't know if y'all are able to hear him, but he isn't able to hear me. All right, they're doing a replay there and set up. Bam. Oh, come on, man. All right, let's see. You got Boxing Academic back. All right, you able to hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right, cool. We back at it, man. We back at it. Hey, man, what did you think, man?
What did I think? So I disagree with you on a few things that you're saying about Jake Paul.
All right, what you got?
The only way for Jake Paul, the only for sure path, you know how in Marvel, the sorcerer, I forgot his name, but he went in his mind and then he saw like all the combinations to fight Thanos. And then he looked at the one path that he had. This is the only way.
It's the only way to win.
So the only way for Jake Paul to actually win this fight was by knockout. And the only way Jake Paul was going to get a knockout was by moving, making sure that AJ could not be set, and then walking AJ into an overhand right, which he was doing a good job of walking him into the line of it. But, people take for granted that in boxing, you have to be like, it's a certain level of balance that you have to have. It's a certain level of like coordination. Like all of this stuff go together to where the shot can be there and it can be lined up. But the fact that you moving and you got to have good balance or the right sort of leverage to even throw that shot, it's not easy to do. And so even what Jake Paul did in the small amount of time that he was there was to me was great. Like him even doing this and just he got it off a couple times. But what I'll say is I'm trying to use positive words because this tells me what I already knew about AJ. I don't know AJ, but what I do know is people who grew up in privilege. What I do know is the commonalities of people who grew up in the opposite of privilege, poverty. And so that sort of mindset makes people behave in a certain type of way to where boxing is their only outcome. And then you got the alternative where boxing is a luxury. At the end of the fight talk he was asking AJ about legacy. AJ said, I don't care about legacy. I'm just doing it because this is something I love to do. What? Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, what kind of shit is that for a 2-time heavyweight champion to say he don't care about legacy? Like, Deontay Wilder is a former shell of himself, but the things that I saw in that ring, which was AJ not knowing how to cut off the ring, maybe they had some agreement. Maybe there was some agreement. Maybe AJ's, being off for 15 months allowed that to happen, but AJ couldn't cut off the ring. And AJ's feet were so plotting that Jake Paul could walk around and almost walk him into shots. He just didn't have the ability to Roy Jones, back up, balance, throw a shot. He just didn't have the ability to do that. But 5 rounds by keeping him away, and he landed a few good shots. And dare I say it, he won 1 round. It was round 4, I believe. I wrote it down in my phone. He won 1 round against the former heavyweight champion. Now, if this was Deontay Wilder, people would be like, oh, we expect that. But against AJ, what kind of shit is that? Jake Paul winning 1 round against him to where he landed more punches and got off a few of them overhand rights. This taught me what I needed to know. If Wilder was anywhere near his previous form, Wilder could stay away from this motherfucker and knock him clean out. I can't talk about what coulda and shoulda be, but in his former form, I know you don't agree with that, but Wilder, what I see here, Wilder's feet, whatever. Okay, it's a lot of variables, but Wilder could stay away from him and walk him into a shot. And Jake Paul probably almost even hurt him. I ain't saying that he did, but Joshua is so shell-shocked to where whenever he gets hit, his mind goes back into the space that Andy Ruiz put him in, that everybody else who knocked him out or made him go on Queer Street. He always gets in that mindset whenever he get hit clean. He got in that mindset today, but again, you got Paul who didn't know how to capitalize on it. And then at his interview, he said he didn't really answer the question. And then he said, I wasn't going to, no matter whatever, I wasn't going to be I wasn't going to accept getting hurt. Yeah, he hurt you. This dude, I don't know, dog. I don't think this to me didn't raise his stature. This only took it down. It only makes me not like him as a boxer. Some of it could be hating. I don't know. You were not going to begin with. I don't know the man. I'm just saying. I respect him, but I'm just saying what I seen from him ain't the stuff of what champions made. It's the stuff of what privileged people is made of who just happen to fall into the circumstances of a champion. I don't know, man. I got to think about what I'm really trying to say here. But let me look at the chat and see what everybody else think.
What you're kind of saying is he ain't necessarily from the trenches. When you talk about the thing as far as boxing in general, right? Boxing is, some would say that boxing is a quote unquote poverty sport, and that you kind of see a number of the fighters come up from, as they say, poverty or the gutter or whatever it is, because they feel like that is their only way out. And you mentioned there with Anthony Joshua is that, with his upbringing or him, being, coming from the family that he comes from, that boxing was basically like an option for him. You know what I mean? So, with him, having, for example, him having the late start overall in boxing to begin with, starting at age 18 and then being able to get to the Olympics and things like that. But it's something to where it's okay, yeah, I can do this, but I'm not, doing this because it's the only way out. I'll put it to you. All right, I'll put it like this then, right? We're having this fight that took place between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. The fight is happening because we don't have a fight between Jake Paul and Tank Davis. Tank Davis comes from the street, basically. You know what I mean? So ever since he was like 6, 7, 8 years old, he knew that boxing was his only way out. That was it. You know, that was it. So you kind of like see that type of mentality, that type of, as they say, hunger, where he gets in the ring and says, listen, if I lose, that's it. If I lose, it's a wrap. If I lose, it's over. I won't be able to, do this no more. So you kind of like have a different type of mentality in the ring when you say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this because I ain't got no other way to make it, in comparison to somebody that might have like another option if boxing ain't it. Like say, for example, I don't know if we, go into the whole wrestling thing or whatever it is, but you got something like say, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He was very successful in, wrestling and WWE or whatever it is, but he's also been, successful in, movies or, the box office, or like a John Cena or something like that. So they had other options in comparison to other people that are in the wrestling game, that it's like, that's it for them. If they don't make it, then that's it. So with someone like an Anthony Joshua, it's like, okay, yeah, he's been able to be very successful. He's been able to become 2-time unified heavyweight champion, but he doesn't necessarily have the upbringing to where it's like, okay, some people don't feel like he gets to that point of, how would I say it? Almost like desperation, but it's like, if I don't make it here, I won't make it, period. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like how, like, for example, with Anthony Joshua and like an Alexander Usyk, right? In both of those fights, in the first like half of the fight or whatever it is, it was pretty close. Or the first 8 rounds, it was pretty close. But you kind of like seen that at some certain point, Alexander Usyk said, if I don't win, I don't know if I'm going to have this chance ever again. With someone like an Anthony Joshua, it's like, if I lose, yeah,
there'll be tomorrow.
I'll have another shot at it because of my status. Come on, almost like a Canelo. Like Canelo loses, he'll still have his status because people gravitate towards Canelo. Joshua, people gravitate towards Joshua. So if he loses, then it's like that. Even before this fight, right? He even said something like that. He said, hey, even if I lose, you know what? I'll brush it off. I'll get back up. I'll fight again. I'll get back up to the top within a year or two. So that kind of like says, to your point, it's almost like an option for him.
It's even worse than, so I liken it to a successful boxer's kid. Most successful boxers, their kids don't have it well because they've came from privilege and they haven't had to use all of the stuff that their fathers had to use to get to be successful. And like Chavez Jr.
Hey, what about recently? Well, could you say that about Shane Mosley Jr.?
The thing is, Shane Mosley Jr., yes. However, you can see with the Contender, you could see in a lot of different avenues that Shane Mosley Jr. recognized that, and he said, I'm going to outlive, my stars or the privilege and stuff. And he tries, like, he takes shots when he shouldn't take shots because he wants to show that I'm not just a privileged kid. You could see that through the Contender. You could at least see that he got the dang, it's character. It's character. And I'm not saying AJ don't got character, but there are some character flaws that I'm seeing. And it's easy. Okay, I'm sitting on the sidelines eating popcorn. It's easy for me to say, but Jake Paul showed more character tonight. Jake Paul said he think his jaw broke. He still kept trying to fight. Anthony Joshua, I don't know, man. It's I see things that show up in his character, like a poor winner, and okay, he got the right to feel good and make a bunch of money, but there are things in his character that a lesser fighter would be grateful to have the privilege and to have all of this. With great power comes great responsibility. He got all this power and he doesn't use it responsibly. And that's sad. And it makes me, not want to root for him. It makes me, in my mind, say, Jake Paul, throw one last big shot. Yeah, I know this fight is over with, but throw one last big shot. Keep fighting, Jake. And that's what I was saying. Keep fighting, Jake. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of the underdog story. Jake was pulling on my heartstrings, but Jake showed more in that fight than Anthony Joshua did. Jake went in one round. Jake winning one round meant a lot more than what Anthony Joshua did, because Anthony Joshua couldn't goddamn stop the ring.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so let me put it to this way then. If Jake Paul showed you a lot more than Anthony Joshua did Conor McGregor show you a lot more than Floyd Mayweather did?
That fight was like many years ago, man. So let me say this. You learn more lessons in losing than you do winning. So I gained a lot of respect for Conor McGregor because Conor McGregor showed some cojones, and in him losing, you could tell the man is a real champion. Outgunned, tired, on the rope. Like, if Jake Paul didn't get tired, he could have went 8 rounds. Maybe they did have some agreement about round 5. Maybe, like you said, it was the most lucrative bet out there. Who knows, right? But what I do know is, I don't know. It felt different when Mayweather beat McGregor. It felt different.
Now, going into this fight, I was having a feeling that it could be like a Mayweather McGregor, in that you would have something where, where Jake Paul would have some type of effort and try to get through a number of these rounds. And then after a certain point where you kind of like seen him either tired or worn down, or you seen where he couldn't really do much against the opponent, then you don't even like step it up to another gear. You will just step it up to like 1.5. And then after, that happens, then the fight is over. And that's what I kind of like saw here, is that like first round, you didn't really see that much activity from either one of those guys. Round 2, pretty much the same thing. And you just
Jake Paul almost won round 1. If what's his name didn't land that big punch, he almost won round 1.
Yeah, but it's like, when you have something where you're like, you ain't even like put much of an effort into, trying to win a round or trying to throw punches or anything like that, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna go in there, and then I see like, if I completely feel like he can't do much to me, I'm gonna just let him do what he wants to do. And then if he wants to throw punches, then cool, he can throw punches. But once he gets to a certain level of, where he's exerting too much energy, or he's exerted too much energy, then I'm like, okay, I got him. This is it. It's over. Let me just do this and barely do anything. You know what I mean? So that's what I saw. It was just that like Joshua really didn't do that much, didn't have much effort at all, as far as like, exerting, that much energy in order to, get this fight, finished or anything like that. And
but wasn't he trying to like knock him out though from round 1? Wasn't he trying? Wasn't like, okay, to your point, I agree with you. It was a lackadaisical effort. But so it's 2 threads, because he was trying, but he wasn't. He was throwing shots to hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
But he only exerted himself, like you said, when Jake Paul either raised his level too much or landed a shot or something.
Atlanta shot, or I mean, newly retired, because because like I said, you had like a little bit of an effort there from Anthony Joshua in those first couple of rounds, right? And then I was like, paying attention there in round 3, because I was like, at least for me, I was picking, round 3 as far as like the fight to get stopped or whatever it is. And you really didn't see that much, effort, but you seen like a lot of clinching. And then when I saw like them like going down to the mat there, and I'm like, well, let me see what happens here, because you already seen a whole lot of movement there from Jake Paul all around the ring, right? And so I'm like, well, if he's going to continue to do that, then Joshua don't really have to, put in too much effort. He could just say, hey, you want to move around the ring? Cool. Move around the ring? Cool. And then by round 4 and round 5, you kind of like seen that movement kind of dwindled down a little bit. And then once they got into a clinch, and then you seen Jake Paul go to the ground, and it didn't take that much for him to go down, then it's like, yeah, he's pretty much like gassed out. You know what I mean? So
can I mention something on that?
Like how someone said, like, he almost had this to the point where it ended safely, so to speak, right?
It did.
And sometimes, how, they say like with the knockout, like if it's a somewhat definitive knockout or a knockout nonetheless, that it's, kind of like, as they say, safer than to go through a number of rounds and take punishment for an amount of rounds. This one was kind of like, as they say, like a safe knockout, to where like Jake Paul really didn't get hurt that much. And I know you had the knockout, that pretty much like had the count of 10, but the one before that, I'm telling you, they got this on Netflix. You could see it on repeat. I'm telling you, ain't no way Joshua hit him. I'm telling you, he did not hit him before.
In the nuts?
No. This was where like Joshua threw like a punch, up towards the head, and it was almost like Jake Paul was like, down, and it looked like it was gonna hit Jake in the back of the head, but I'm saying it completely missed him, and Jake still went down. I'm like, no, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way that landed. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm telling you, and I kind of like said this when this was announced. This was kind of like a solid, though, because if you think about it, this event was salvaged basically by having Anthony Joshua agree to it. Because
it was.
You wouldn't have had like any event this year for Jake Paul. They wanted him to have a fight in 2025. And with him not getting that thing there with Tank Davis, they said, hey, we got to see if we can find an opponent that would be, interesting enough for people to gravitate towards, to where we could push this to Netflix and say, hey, we're going to fight this guy. Are you interested in having or putting in this much money towards having it on? And Anthony Joshua was the name that was able to get enough interest. So, I mean, there you have it. You know what I mean? So that's why I say, like, this was basically a solid on both, because one, you get to have the event saved for 2025 on Jake Paul's part, and for 2, for Anthony Joshua, instead of fighting on a November 22nd card or fighting on December 27th in an 8-rounder against Cassius Chaney, which is who they were saying that he was going to fight, you're fighting Jake Paul in the 8-rounder and getting about $20 million at minimum. So that
easy work.
Yeah. So come on. So that's like easy money for him. You know what I mean? So, man.
So you mentioned one thing, but I told you Doctor Strange, and it's the only way.
The only way to win.
So the only way for him to win, again, I'm adding to the only way for him to win, was moving around the ring and walking Joshua to the shot. The only way, in addition to that needed to happen, was every time Joshua used his weight and leaned on him, it would be foolish for him to try to use his legs. If that's his plan, to try to stay away from Joshua, it would be foolish for him to try to use his legs to fight against Joshua. So I think it was a good plan. Every time Joshua leaned on him, just go to the ground. Don't waste the energy to fight with Joshua. Yes, at some point it was more exhaustion, but at first, when like first round and stuff, that was strategic, and it was smart to me to do that, because if your plan is to use your legs, that zaps your legs. Joshua knows that. Joshua has done that to some people. So that part was smart. At some point, it didn't matter because the fatigue, he was just doing it because he was tired and falling over. You know what I'm saying? He was tired at that point.
Yeah, but there was another thing that was happening too.
Trying to go to his legs?
No. After, what was that, like round 3 or round 4, there was something up with the ring, especially like on that side or that half there with the blue corner.
Like it was spongy or something where his foot got caught.
Foot got caught, but there was a lot of slipping on that side. Like Jake Paul slipped a couple of times. Joshua slipped with his back foot one time. And you seen there that they had that moment where Jake Paul looked like he had injured, his leg too. So I'm like, man, he was doing the whole thing with the movement, but yeah, that slipping thing kind of, had something, a little bit of an effect too. So you kind of like say, you know what? Okay, if I'm slipping and sliding, I don't know how much more I could, move around and, having the thing with my leg now, being hurt a little bit. Yeah. So it was like, okay, we got to have this happen. But, the other thing too was I thought, one way or the other, we would have like a moment. And I don't think we got a moment from this. Yeah, you do have a knockout, but it's just, like some people are saying, that was a quote unquote safe knockout to where, yeah, he did try to set up Jake Paul and land that right hand, but it's like he didn't really, it's almost like, Joshua versus Ngannou, like that was a knockout. You know what I mean? But this right here, we kind of, we set up.
I'm going to add to what you're saying. At the end of this fight, I'm not saying Jake could have got up, but what I know did happen, Jake looked at his corner. They said, stay down. And Jake nodded his head in confirmation at that point when they told him to stay down. Jake probably could have got up, but they told him to stay down. And that's why we feel that this wasn't a definitive sort of finish, because it wasn't. It was essentially them saying, hey, you've done enough. Let's concede. Oh, by the way, we're gonna win some money. Stay down. I'm not saying Jake quit because the fight was over with. He said he got a broken jaw. I believe all of that. I think that was the smartest thing to do. But yeah, the definitive knockout would have been nicer. But but then you got the person who doesn't behave like a champion. So there you go.
But the thing is, it's like you had this thing built to the point where are we going to see that moment to where, okay, either Jake is going to be sent to hell or Anthony Joshua is going to be sent to hell. And you didn't necessarily get that. That's why I was saying there with the knockdown that happened beforehand, it was almost like, yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get it over with. So you had the knockdown that happened and it was like, slippage. And then, like you said, with him getting knocked down and he's just down there on like, either, sitting, like how you were talking about with the, Sebastian Fundora versus Brian Mendoza, where Sebastian Fundora got knocked down and then he sat up and he was thinking about getting up and he didn't get up. This was pretty much like the same thing. Like,
it's different though. It is the same, but it's different because of the stature of the fight.
Yeah.
Like him quitting is quitting, but it makes sense because he has already proven he already won the moral victory. Nobody cares about moral victories, but he didn't already won the moral victory. There was no reason for him to keep going. There was no financial reason. There was no, it would have been foolish to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Fundora, they both trying to go for the belt. They're fighting for legacy. They're doing this. He quit. He quit when something was still at stake. Jake Paul had already everything that he wanted to get out of this fight. Once he even went,
yeah, yep. I mean,
you can finish.
yeah, the thing is, like, I mean, going into this fight, well, it was like from 9-1 favorite for Joshua to about 16-1 favorite for Joshua, and Jake being a 10-1 underdog. And for people to like say that it wasn't gonna last longer than 2 rounds, they already passed that. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I was able to, get through this many rounds with the Anthony Joshua, like compared to, like I was mentioning before, with Francis Ngannou. Like Francis Ngannou didn't last 2 rounds with Anthony Joshua because Joshua was like, okay, this guy, yeah, he might have some power. He might have knocked down Tyson Fury, but I'm not going to play around with this guy. That's why I say here with the Jake Paul, it's like, I said it's going to end whenever Joshua decides that it could basically end, because
styles make fights though, JR.
Yeah, I mean they do.
The only way to win, Jake Paul took advantage of him moving. So this fight would have at least went 3 rounds. And Ngannou can't do that. Ngannou can't do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I knew that I knew it was going to be around like 3 rounds. It's just that I just didn't feel like there would be a way that Jake could get to Joshua unless if he had something where he could catch Joshua with a perfect shot. And I mean a perfect shot. He tried, and that's the thing. He tried. But hey, it is what it is there, and ended up having a loss or whatnot. You know what I mean? But that, hey, goodness, man. But that was like an event nonetheless, man. I had fun, covering the thing. There was like, of course, a lot more that went down in that particular event. But a lot of the stuff I kind of like expected. I expected that Alicia Baumgartner fight to go to full 12 rounds. You know what I mean? I, expected the thing there with Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley. And, shout out to Jamal Harvey, of course, from the Washington, D.C. area there. He was able to get the win, too. So that was part of the main card. I thought that was interesting that they had Jamal Harvey be part of that main card, though, when his second pro fight. But, that's what you had there on this thing. But I've been on here for like 3 hours here talking about this thing here, man. We of course, you got some folks here that's talking about it, live reaction to the fights and things like that. So y'all be able to check it out. I'm gonna be back at it, with the Boxing Source podcast on Sunday. I'm gonna be talking more about this fight and the entire card there. I might see if I could catch up with one of the fighters that was involved in the entire card here, because they were able to get a win on the early joint. Shout out to Bull Rider here on the live chat. He says, "Do you think from now on women boxing will be 3-minute rounds?" No, I advise against it, not because the whole thing was safety, but I would say 2 things. One, you're not gonna get, to me, you're not getting more action in 3-minute rounds in comparison to 2-minute rounds when it comes to women's boxing. And the whole thing with the 12 rounds, like, nah, man. All we're seeing is a lot more decisions. So instead of, and I was saying that, while going live with it, I said, by the time you got through 6 of those rounds there with Baumgartner and Badoin, that was like 18 minutes of ring time. That would have already been close to the end of the fight if it was 10 rounds, 2 minutes per round. So I don't think that, that's going to be a move that we may see in the near future, mainly because of another thing that is key, and that goes to pay, fighter pay. You're going to have to deal with a different pay scale. And are the numbers going to make sense? Is the math going to be mathing? I don't think so. So, yeah, I don't really see that it's going to happen here anytime soon, or if anything at all. All right. So that's all I got on that front, man. Let me see something, man. I tried to, like I said, I was able to try to cover as much as I could there, with this live. thanks for everyone that's been able to, check in and stuff like that. Shout out to the Box Academic here for, reacting to what was happening there with the fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. We're going to be talking more about it, on Sunday night. I'll probably be watching it a couple more times. Because I'm telling you, man, that the end of that fight was like funny, man. I'm telling you. Oh man.
Watch for the head nod. Watch for the head nod.
I know, right? Or watch for, or not either the head nod or the wink. The wink just with these like twitch one of those eyes. Look out for that. Oh man, that was just crazy, man. Oh man, but yeah, thanks again for those that were able to join in here. Like I said, I got a few things that I have to upload. I did have a conversation with Coach Barry Hunter earlier, like I said, on Friday. It's like, Saturday officially, early Saturday morning. But I'm gonna have that uploaded here for people to check out. And with that being said, y'all, like I said, I'm out. Later, y'all.